what potential maps we're going to have in this series. And here they are locked in a border, but picked up by Space Station.
Wow.
That's a surprise. Oregon, Liquid go into it, and then Kafe as our decider. I'll just go down the line, starting with Tristan here, asking you in general your thoughts on the map bans.
First of all, interesting to see SSG ban Skyscraper after what happened yesterday. You think maybe they, even if they were to ban it, they wouldn't ban it straight away. I think Border being picked by SSG, again, is interesting because we thought that Liquid might want to take them to that. Oregon being picked by Liquid, not too surprising because they'll have seen SSG on Oregon, and I don't think they look particularly strong. Kafe as a decider, if we get there, let's see. Let's just see.
Twister?
I would say that probably Skyscraper was not a good map from SSG, so they just chose, oh, okay, we are not playing this, we are not doing this. We prefer to face Border, we prefer to face Oregon on Liquid than facing this Skyscraper that it looked like that Liquid was able to recover that map on the Dalmon Kia game. So I think this with this veto, it could be really well for Liquid. This looks very good for Liquid.
Yep. I definitely agree. I think looking at the maps, Border, okay, might go both ways actually. I'm gonna be honest, I think Border can also go SSG's way, but Oregon and especially Kafe are maps where you can play very structured, where you can fall back to the side and leave the side somewhat weak. So I think these are gonna be really good Liquid maps. In all honesty, I think Liquid went out of this veto as a winner.
Okay, then focusing on Border as our first map. As you see, it is SSG's pick. Now, I'm not sure if we have the starting side for the teams. I'll have to ask about that if we can get it from our admin team. But looking at this, you're saying that it could be a 50-50 map between the two. We know Border, Tristan, is now very much attacker-sided. It's the aggression map, and in some ways very similar in strategies to the old Border that we have. What do you see that could happen on it in this game?
I think there's going to be quick rounds, which is a surprise because both of these teams yesterday, when we analyzed them on the desk, every single round came down to 20 seconds, 15 seconds at absolute maximum. I think nearly every single round they played came down to executes, and I don't think we're going to see that.
And we have the info. Liquid start on the attacking side.
Attacking side. I would say that probably SSG just tried to pick this map just to improve that play style that we mentioned. They are trying to adapt to Liquid, and probably we will bring some new stuff here. Probably we will see some abuse on Valk, probably some abuse on Jackal and Lion to do some fast pushes. So I agree with Tristan.
Operator bans that could be used here?
Good question, good question. We know that Liquid likes to play with Mirror. So I think SSG is going to get rid of that, and maybe Liquid tries to get rid of the aggression. But one thing I'd like to mention, which I think is very important, Liquid is starting on an attacking side, which is really good. Attacking side is way easy on Border, and they need the momentum. If Liquid wants to win this, they need to build up momentum, and they need to crush over them at the beginning.
And SSG started on the attacking side on Oregon too. It seems like everybody's favoring attack nowadays. We know that maps, most of them have gone 50-50, which usually means that the attackers have way much of an easier way to get through all of this. So anything from your mind here, Tristan, operator-wise, that could be used and abused?
For Oregon or for the series in general?
For our first map.
For our first map, I agree with Corey with Mirror. They call it the Brazilian Mirror on Border for a reason. I think teams have at least 4 individual Brazil callouts on that map just because of Mirror. So, yeah, I would expect to see that.
I agree.
All right, so thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you, Corey, for joining us here on the desk. We're going to introduce our teams. They're ready to go. So let's head down to the stage.
Welcome to the main stage where things are about to get interesting. This is it. The last stand. The final countdown. One last chance to remain in the competition. Am I laying it on too thick, Fancy? I think I might be. Right, it's time for your first lower bracket final of the day. So please welcome to the stage your first competitor, all the way from North America, Spacestation Gaming.
وصل الفريق الأول معنا في المسرح، ولا ننسى أنه الفريق الأول هذا بيكون فرصته الأخيرة لسبيستيشن جيمنج أنه يتواصلون معنا في البطولة، يتوجهون لهم البلاي أوفs. لكن لا ننسى أن خصمهم ممكن بداية صعبة شوي، ما قدر أنه يفوز المباراة الأولى بشكل كويس، والآن هو عنده الفرصة الأخيرة أنه يتوجه للبلاي أوفs في حالة أنه فاز أو خسر. خلونا نرحب فيهم في المسرح. الفريق الفائز في الكوبا 6 اللي صارت قبل شهرين تقريبا، وجو عندنا وما أثبتوا أنفسهم وجت فرصتهم الأخيرة. رحبوا فريق تيم ليكويد.
Things are about to heat up here. So, if you're at home, if you're in the arena, if you're camping in the wilderness somewhere with really good Wi-Fi connection, good for you, by the way. We're going to get this lower bracket final started by handing it over to the desk so they can break everything down before we start.
Spacestation Gaming ضد تيم ليكويد، الفرصة الأخيرة قبل الوصول للبلاي أوفs، والفريق الفائز منهم على طول بيتأهل إلى النصف النهائي غدا إن شاء الله. فخلونا نشوف من اللي بيقدر يتفوق فيهم. كلهم بدايتهم ما كانت كويسة في البطولة، وهذه فرصتهم للتعويض. فعلى طول على الاستوديو التحليلي.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, Fancy and Barney. We are back, and we're going to have a final chat before our game begins. The Space Station and Team Liquid sit down. The elimination match about to begin. Simple as that. While they're through, who can join them on the other side of the bracket? And final thoughts now before we close things out. Tristan, we're starting off with the first map in the BO3 series. How do you think it's going to go?
If the pressure wasn't on before, it is on now. And I would like to hope Liquid, with their experience, with their caliber, the way that they bounced back from losing 7-1, 7-1, and then winning a map 7-1 themselves, especially starting border attack, my heart would like to say that Liquid are going to take this, and also for the sake of Twister's heart, I hope that Liquid do win this.
I want to, actually, as the Brazilian last hope, the Latin last hope in this tournament, I would say that Liquid will need Nask and Nask to show up in this match. If they are able to get many kills as they get the areas of the map that they need to, and hold the bomb site properly on the fast attacks of SSG, probably we are getting this 2-0.
And Liquid starting on the attacking side here on our first map. They'll be very comfy with that just because we know how the game is running nowadays in terms of the metagame. They have everything on their side for it. All they have to do is execute properly. And we know if Liquid get the first map, then come Oregon map 2, that things might actually continue going their way and ending it 2-0. Like you said, the last time hope, MIBR eliminated from the tournament, so Falcons able to take them out. So something's gonna happen here, something's gonna give. SSG's chances, Tristan, you think they're gonna go well?
I still think it's 50-50. It's just my heart says that Liquid will win. I can't predict it. I have to be honest, I can't predict this one.
Even Corey was saying it's 50-50 on border.
I would say that as they are starting on attack, it would be a good match for them because they can adapt, they can see how they feel the match properly. So I think it would be like favored to Liquid.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Our casters are ready, so let's have a quick look at Gibson and Whippet on the other side. Here you go, boys in the studio. Please, the game is all yours. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Milosh. And this is it. Do or die. NA versus LATAM, the battle of the Americas for that spot inside the semi-finals. Whippet. This is a lot on the line for these sides.
Lots of pressure for both these teams in the lower bracket. It is do or die for them now. You lose this best of 3, you're going home early, and none of these teams want that. They want to keep fighting on to get as far as they can, make a deep run. But as our desk are talking about, this is a pretty 50-50 matchup, and especially when we look to our very first map, which is Border. I really, really cannot wait to get into this one, because this map is kind of like the new coastline. It's a little bit reliant on your gunplay. It's a little bit reliant on how you can click those heads. And these teams are stacked with talent. So just imagine Dexter versus Next. Paul, who could pop off here as well. Talent throughout the ranks for these teams. One thing though, Liquid, heavily emotional. Can SSG get off to a good start? Because that might be key to victory for them.
It 100% will be, and when you think of the journey both of these teams took to get here, Spacestation Gaming took a round off Wild, or took a map off Wild, which Liquid were unable to do, but they have played a lot of Siege. Both games they played went all the way to 3 maps.
I mean, Liquid could barely get a round off Wild. I mean, they got 2 in the overall series of that, but the Des touched on it. A massive bounce back from Liquid to be able to recover that, winning a map themselves 7-1 in their next matchup in that lower bracket. But we see our operator bounds rolling in, and SSG will remove the Nomad initially. Again, on a map like this where you want that freedom, you want to be able to move around, and especially when SSG start on the defensive side, not a much of a surprise. You don't want to go up these stairs and get caught by an air jab.
Yeah, and this is Liquid's opportunity to just set the pace on this one on attack. This is Border, this is attack. You expect to see a lot of action. Kaid is going to go along with Thatcher, and Liquid were locked in. This is a quick ban they've gone for straight away, and no surprise at all, Malusi is going to get taken out. So a lot of work being put in just to make the roaming game a little bit easier.
Well, what SFG have done is what they've enabled by that Malusi ban is essentially an ease or a freedom of movement. Those Banshees, when you need to make a push in, like for example, Beeper Stairs, when you need to go through that doorway, those metal detectors, the last thing you want to fight against is that Banshee. It's a distraction. It's another thing to check and look at as you go in. So again, they want this map to be as fluid as possible, meaning I'm getting a little bit excited for the fireworks these teams can put on for it, because this map, we've all played it. Everyone has played this map, and you know it is a little bit crazy, a little bit reliant on who can pull the trigger quickest. As we dive into our prep phase here, SSG on the defensive side, and they've opted to go to, no surprise, Armory Tellers from the first side.
Top floors where we're going. There was a lot of build-up on the desk about Mira, but not being brought in round number 1, but she is available and open for these teams when they want to take it.
I'm not too sure they will. She's not as effective as she used to be, and also teams have got a lot of experience doing it. In Border, you end up very close to mirror windows, and it can be a nuisance. But this entire CC area, this isn't going to be played like old Border. It's all going to be chewed open, opened up rotations inside of that box, inside of CC, trying to control that 90 area with pressure inside of Fountain. Basically, what SSG are doing is expanding and taking complete control of the top floor, and chewing up that area inside of that floor, inside of Archives, meaning they're likely to have a player down below, which is a great idea, because you can deny a fast attempted plant. And Liquid, look at their lineup. They got that Lion, they got an Ashe, which isn't a very regular thing to see. So I think they're going to go pretty aggressive in terms of how they want to play this out.
Think Ashe, Zofia, Lion, it is all set up that whenever they push that trigger, the attack will come very fast. But drones being taken out as Nesk looks down the long way towards double wall, hoping for an attempted run out. But SSG not going to gift them with that free open and pick, which is always tense. The first 40 seconds of any best of 3, you're sitting waiting to see who's going to be the first one to take the risk.
These teams are going to be tentative here. Again, the stakes, it is, yes, the first round of best of 3, the first map of best of 3, but they are in the lower bracket. So good information spotted out down below. That's going to be Ask trying to chew open that floor to clear these power positions. So far doing a good job of it, just trying to catch something with Liquid. Outside the building still, not a whole lot of control. They're not going for that traditional clear from the east side, not taking stairs. It's all going to be around clearing CC. A good camera spot all the way up. You normally see Valkyrie cameras there, but now they're going to have information of the player playing inside of single in that office doorway. Nesk will send that nade, knowing fine well it's going to get caught out. But so far, Liquid very spread out. They're trying a lot of angles, trying to clear the poking and prodding, looking for a way in.
Yeah, and Ask is going to keep redecorating that top floor. Dexter is going to get the opener as he starts this one off really well, and hot and cold. Still playing inside security, holding his ground, and that's what you can do with his ammo. You can make it very difficult for those attackers to get lines of sight, and look at the pixel he's created for himself looking towards that window.
If you get caught out by that one, you're not going to be too happy at all. Houghton in a great position just to hold out and lock in. With a minute left in this round, it's going to be very tense. They've lost Nesk, lost those nades, they've lost the ability to heal, but there's resets. He's going to find Rampy. Dexter will get that trade, though. SSG give nothing for free, and it's going to be all hellfire now as Ask is going to get Houghton. That's control of CC. Ask will find a second one now, and that's Dexter. There is Paulu on the Bosco, leaving Fultz in a 1v3. 40 seconds. Liquid haven't made a direct push in the site yet. They just cleared the roam, but he won't be able to find Paulu, who finds False. Team Liquid grab the very first round, and as I mentioned, this is a side that loves momentum. They're emotional, like the entire LATAM region. They love to be on top and on top early, so this is just more motivation, more fuel on the fire for them to keep this rolling. Great start from them.
And Ask and Palu did a great job creating opportunities to move into the site. But once again, it was structure and aggression from Liquid. They spent the first minute or two diagnosing what way the defense was. And then once that opening pick came, the floodgates opened, they pushed in. But SSG fought back. That was a very much back and forward round, but Team Liquid took round one.
Good start from them. Early days in this series. SSG won't repeat the side again. They'll go down the vents. A traditional rotation coming out from SSG. Normally, you see teams going towards bathroom tellers now. It's, again, kind of a little bit of flashback to the old style of how Border's getting played. Likelihood they're going to have some extension upstairs to try and deny that. They might even spread themselves across CC and Armory to just make this clear. Very difficult for Liquid. When you're on a map that's compact like this on Border, there's a lot of key areas to hold, and looking at one of them, it's going to be the tension and customs as well. Expect a lot of contesting around this zone. Liquid want that control because it has a massive cut-off potential. You get essentially control of square PCs. You have so much pressure from there, and SSG will likely hold on to it, but they don't want to spread themselves too thin.
And SSG, they've got their defense set up, and I'm looking at Team Liquid, and they attacker repicked onto Ying, they attacker repicked onto Finka and Buck as well. Buck, of course, very good operator for creating those lines of sight down when you can use a little bit of verticality, and now the drone work begins. Nesk getting on his drones, and this is where you can win or lose a round based on how much intel you get, and once again, that cam being put in place, and thankfully our observer showed anyone at home how to get there.
Exactly, so now you know how to set that one up and get a lot of information inside of office, and that will be prying onto Rampy. What will he be able to do there? That wall's not reinforced on single, so he might get caught out, nor is triple fully reinforced either. Someone's inside of tellers down below as well, so they're beginning to encroach on his position, but he still has a little bit of time, a little bit of space to breathe, as it will be Ask, because it's already inside of tellers. His AK-12 will sing and tear through that wall or that doorway, and he's just really being cautious right now. The rest of Liquid somewhat quiet, gathering information and just waiting for the right moment to pounce.
It's all about picking the right opportunities. Do not rush into any decisions. Rampy is going to swing at the right time, gets Nesk, drops the hatch, and it's a little bit of guerrilla warfare. Ask is going to chase him down, though. The red ping is coming out. 2 defenders being spotted out, and Ask will now begin that patient game. But as he went to use his util, there is Rampy, get on the double, and he has just stolen 2 kills in the first minute and a half.
Massive pick there from Rampy. Again, this is the type of player you expect to pop off and go large in these situations. Paulu next up to the plate. The case is down there as well, so Rampy's going to be very keen to keep fighting and brawling for that key position. He'll fall back a little bit now, but it looks a little bit troublesome, a little bit turbulent for the side of Liquid. A nade getting ready and prepped and sent in by resets, but I don't think that will land a whole lot. He's going to be very cautious in doing so, takes a mess of damage, but oh, there that nade lands on the Rampy, and that could be an opening. Finding one more pick draws them level in player count.
50 seconds left, and that EDE again from Lion will pop to freeze those defenders in place, and there are 4 of them for Team Liquid to deal with. Oh, Dexter getting a little bit of help. That will be TSK down, and now Palu gets in a gunfight as he creates that line of sight, but SSG holding strong, making Liquid work for everything. 1v4 clutch is here, opportunity for Palu, but can he do it? Once again, slowing the pace of the round down, but you cannot slow it too much. You've only got 20 seconds, but you have the case. There is a little bit of tension building here, but he needs to make something happen. Dexter won't give him the time, and there is another round win for SSG.
a good pick from them. Good round from them. SSG getting themselves back level. They need to keep themselves close to Liquid. They can't let them run away with it. This is really important for them to stay in this, but a massive play again. SSG will play themselves very, very widely spread across this map, trying to be as much of a nuisance towards Liquid as possible, and we saw that unraveling before you. So we tie ourselves up 1 round apiece.
Yeah, Dexter's just been so impressive over the course of the games that we have seen SSG play. A lot of pressure. You're coming into a new team. Your first real opportunity to put in some work with them is at a major international LAN like this one. And Whippet, what can I say? This has been a very good back and forth so far.
It has been. These teams are really, really close. Even Tristan talked about it on the desk. It is a situation of a 50-50. This map as well, because it is heavily attacker favored. So you'd imagine Liquid would be able to have some success here. And Liquid are a very capable side as well. But SSG have been a very difficult nut to crack. No matter what iteration it is of them, they have this level of structure and they don't give you anything for free. They make it very difficult to find their opening pick. They find it very difficult to really get into your flow. And if they can do that against Liquid on a map that you'd imagine they get flowing on, that could be problems. But early days, only round 3.
It is only round 3 and the round has begun. Looking at that attacker lineup, PSK's decided to go ahead and bring in Zero, an operator we don't see all that often, but another way to get intel on where the members of SSG are playing. Oryx though being used by SSG, and that is an operator, look, we say a lot of when the quickest operator in the game can move from one floor to the other with ease, and great for getting in behind the attack.
Always capable of getting those last-minute flanks, but typically works a little bit better on larger maps. Like Below would be a perfect example of that. Number of hatches you can vault on up and be a little bit of a surprise. Again, a lot of this is different on Border because of how compact this map is. You really don't have a lot of breathing room. Pressure arrives very, very quickly when upon this map, and Liquid will want to apply that pressure very, very quickly to SSG. Nesk, though, 1 point of this has not really been in this game so far yet to strike up the scoreboard. So I wonder how that one will continue to play out. They want one of their best guns firing on all cylinders, especially considering this best of 3 separates them from continuing on to tomorrow or going home tonight.
Yeah, and it's not going to start in this round because Fultz will take him down, making it a 5v4 for SSG now. Alibi holding those angles, and this is the minute and 30 gone, so back on the drones, try to work out where the defense is strong. Another drone down though, as in side to side. We will once again see Dexter denying that information, and PSK scrolling through the cams, but nothing to be found as most of them have been removed. That would explain it.
Yeah, that would do. Oh, so let's go back to this.
Nice time to go back too.
It is.
Picking up a kill, a headshot. That's a perfect timing for us getting back. And this is the red thing is shown above. Again, Ask using Thermite. Used Ash first time around and used it to deadly effect. But he has just pushed up the metal stairs. But a yellow ping comes to give away the position of the defender. There's the pre-fire around the corner. And Bosco will fall 4v2 now. And it's all down to just isolating those members of SSG if Team Liquid want to win this round. But they've got a nice little cross being held. The prone Dexter will get the kill as he gets back up onto his feet. And it's all down to Palu.
Paulo left in a 1v3 now. Was a 1v4 for a brief moment as that handoff landed, but he will find Dexter, who was already on a single point of HP. He'll try and creep his way up by beepers, but at this stage with 27 seconds left in the round, he's not got a very fair chance of winning this one against 3 members of SSG. He'll charge on in. He's got an LMG so he can spray for days, but he spots 1 player by sandwich. He has to find himself a very tricky fight. He's not even close to side as well. And with 15 seconds left, you might concuss, you might stun, you might get that pick on the Fultz, but damage is done at this stage. Liquid can surely not win this now, and I think it is a fair bet to say this round is all but wrapped up for SSG. 2 seconds, 1 second, and now SSG find themselves 1 round in the lead.
Yeah, really good round from them again, just eating up so much of the clock. And you saw it there. Pally was still chasing kills up inside Armory whenever we were, 20 seconds left in the round and the site was down in bathroom.
I mean, this is, again, the SSG roam presence, though, because look at the way SSG are set up, right? The entire top floor, that's their domain. The sites in the bottom, yeah, that's fair and well, but you need to clear this upstairs. You need to get them cleared away, and guess what? Liquid struggle with that one, and the Zami was a big factor of that, really making it difficult to get an easy pick, an easy fight. SSG playing fantastically so far. I'll preface once again, very early days in this series, but at this stage for Liquid, again, their attacks seem a little bit muted. They've really not had, I think, the punch, the bite, the power behind that attack that you'd expect when you look at this roster.
Yeah, Liquid, they were very disappointing in the first game of the groups as well whenever they played against Wild, and this is an opportunity for them to redeem themselves. SSG, they went out last night, they played a lot, but this is their opportunity to get themselves into the semi-finals as well, because let's be real, NA were undefeated going into the last game tonight, and they took 2 losses back-to-back, and SSG really want to make their ways into the semis as well.
Oh, every team does. No one wants to lose. No one wants to lose on this stage. No one ever actually wants to lose a match at all, especially international competition. You don't want your region to lose. And so SSG fighting for that one. Liquid actually fighting for the pride of LATAM right now. The only surviving Latin American team still standing. Falcons crumbled MIBR on the B stream earlier today. The home favourites from the MENA region Falcons, 2-0 victory against MIBR, meaning that later on today, keep your eyes peeled for TSM versus Falcons here. That's going to be a very exciting one. But we must worry about SSG Liquid for the time being. And once again, Liquid, I have a feeling it's going to be a slow, methodical, almost lethargic initial push to try and get into some control. They have a lot of uppers that you don't see a whole lot of. I mean, we have an Ashe in play on Ask. It's not very common to see that getting brought out, but I will not question it. I trust Liquid in this situation. That drone in play once again. Complete full information inside of Office, but what can they do upon it?
Well, that is the question, but this is very much like the first round again. The same lineup. Ask was able, and along with the help of Palu, to just take down the SSG tank, but Houghton is holding one angle, Dexter holding the other. SSG doing what they do very well, just staying patient, waiting for the cross to come in, and Houghton will just deny any possible entry, as well as bouncing that nade off the Kiba barrier, getting in a gunfight, but falling back into corners. And Houghton, this is exactly what his job is to do. Stay alive, be a nuisance, be annoying, and force Team Liquid to commit to clear you.
And Liquid really need to clear him, but that's going to be Houghton now cleared away. Nesk, his opening kill of the series as well, gets the job done, clears away a zombie before any more time can be wasted or damage done. So Liquid now in the best position they've been in for a little while. Dexter very much taking it down to the level, trying to take that fight by the AC units outside, but lots of angles open up by SSG to try and fight it. But Dexter might be finding himself looking at too many angles. He's got a crossfire assisting him by single wall instead of Office. But with a minute left in this round, you'd imagine Liquid's pressure needs to begin to mount up and put more direct pressure on the side itself. One player playing inside of box or inside of blue, and that will be Fultz on the Warden as well, so he can really keep himself safe in case any of those stuns come whizzing his way.
And pressure will build and build, but who will crack underneath it? Nesk, as you said, he's got his first kill of the series, and he is just inching, sneaking his way down. Ask already in position as well, waiting for a defender to get a little bit curious on the door. Fultz will get more than curious as he takes down Ask with the headshot, and SSG doing a great job at delaying time. Fultz is going to slam Nesk, making it a 4v3, but there is Palu getting traded out with Dexter. Dexter taken down by resets. It is a 2v2. In the window will come PSK, going to get taken down, and SSG now in a 2v1, and Bosco clutches it out.
Never really in doubt with that one, to be honest. Liquid, you need to be a little bit more assertive of this map. It's a map that you can be aggressive. You can be essentially that Brazilian style, get in the face, take the fights, try and really upset the flow and setup of SSG. But SSG setup is proving to be too difficult, or is Liquid just a little bit cautious? Are they playing not to lose right now? Again, I'll throw another asterisk. This is SSG's map as well, so they're of course very, 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 very well prepared for it, knowing how this team operates. Lycan wouldn't let anyone go into a map without knowing every in and out. So Liquid, not the ideal start from them, trailing by 2 rounds, but SSG dominant so far on the defensive side of Border, which is a little bit unusual because this is an attacking favored map.
The one thing I will say though, Whippet, is you and I, over the course of this tournament, the teams that we have had have tended to lose their opening map and their map pool. But as we look into this one now, and the one thing I want to point out is, did you see Rampy in that little clip? he is pumped. He is good to go. And you can tell by the way his body language is how up for a game SSG are.
Oh, Rampy's always up for it. Rampy is always there. I mean, one of the most vocal players on that roster. We've had the privilege of listening to them play out in their B-Stream studio, and you can tell it's an SSG round because, well, you're going to hear Rampy win. No matter what, no matter if it's a really dire situation, they just scraped together that round, he is there to be that vocal point, that life for his team. And it really is one of those, both very emotional squads, but Rampy is the core of the emotion on the side of SSG, and so far that core has been doing a very good job of getting rounds against Team Liquid. 3-1 the scoreline, and so far if Liquid don't get a little bit of pace, a little bit of tempo behind these attacks, I think we might be on sort of a very, very dominant SSG defensive half.
Yeah, SSG have looked really good, and it's been down to those players just making it so difficult for Liquid to really get any ground whatsoever. Houghton playing Diamond, or was not Houghton this time, it's Dexter playing as Zami, making it so difficult to even get in towards CCTV. Rampy peeking around the corner, looking the long angles. That's something, of course, you can do with that DMR in hand of a Rooney, but it's still 2 minutes left to go in the round.
With 2 minutes left now in the round, Liquid haven't really got anything for it. This is the problem right now, because this map, you'd imagine, and I've said it like 1,000 times, it feels like already, I would have thought Liquid would go for a little bit more aggressive style, try to fight Liquid or try to fight SSG a little bit more in their face, and not even necessarily being heavily contested on their entryways. Resets has walked in and relatively without any real people fighting him in his face. They still have to clear upstairs, minute 35 have to go, the site's down in vents again, and SSG aren't giving anything to Liquid. They're just going to play reserve. And why would they give anything to Liquid? They know that right now, Liquid's their own worst enemy. They're slow, they're not getting executes rolling, so why take a risk? Why take a gamble?
Exactly, and if SSG can win this round, they'll be 4-1 up. They could even go 5-1 based on how they're playing, especially with Fultz able to get the open and again, but Ask will trade it out, and that's much better for Team Liquid. You need to be able to trade ones out, especially on attack.
Massive trade. I mean, you need to stay close to your team. You need to be basically nothing for free. Is a really good way to play this game. But you got top floor control now. Less than a minute to work with. There's your first Lion scan sent off to try and immobilize SSG, but no one for SSG is faced. They're pulling their positions. Bosk will have to relocate now as verticals begin to get opened up above him. And this is where Liquid need to really start thinking about, okay, what is our execution? What's our plan? Who's going to go to main door? Who's going to go to vents window? You got 30 seconds to do it, and you got to get moving. You got to get there quickly. Oh, SSG, they'll sit, they'll wait, they'll bask in the timer going down. Paulie will try and find a pick through the floor, but no, there's Rampy. Once again with that DMR, shuts it down. 20 seconds, and here comes Liquid. Ask will try and stick that plant. It will be at 50% now, but SSG have information. But Nesk is there on cover, not for long. There's Bosco. He's going to find one more. No, that's Houghton who picks it up, leaving it all down to Ask in a 1v2. He's going to run away, trying to get some space, buy himself some time. But SSG are hunting. They're getting close, and now they can tap out the case, try and cover. That's what they'll do. It's down to Ask. He's going to call out with a shotgun. SSG find themselves another round. They lead 4-1, and Liquid seemingly don't have the answer to this defense.
4 rounds in a row for SSG now after Liquid opened this up in this one, and they are looking oh so good. This is as good as they looked on the first map against Wild in the previous round again, where they were just really dominant when they needed to be. And for Liquid, did they desperately need this next round? If you take a the win rate, if you take a 5-1 half, you've practically won every map you play.
I mean, I don't think we saw what, TSM go 5-1 round down every time in the last matchup on this stream, and they never recovered. They never recovered at all. SSG, absolutely in control. Liquid, at this stage, they started off well, they got the first round, that's what they needed. They need to be the team on top of things in control, but now SSG have complete and utter dominance, and you've got to be a little bit worried. As a timeout's been called for side of Liquid, can they reset themselves? Can they get themselves back to that neutral headspace? Can they get themselves rolling again? Because they are an emotional side. And then once that mental begins to slip, you've got to get worried about performance going with it. But SSG look just unflappable right now.
It's a double-edged sword, really, being so emotional, because when things are going good, you are unstoppable. And when things are going bad, you just cannot see the light coming through. And for SSG, they are up for this one. And, you know, a throwback to the little piece that they did with the media and Rampy was talking about, they don't mind if they lose to a good team playing really well. They are playing a very good team right now, but SSG are the ones that are playing really well.
I mean, it's SSG. We expect this quality from them. They're an absolutely top side. And the way they're playing this is essentially just so counter to what Liquid want to do. Liquid don't want to necessarily deal with this massive roam presence upstairs. They want a little bit more of an easy avenue. Everyone does, of course. But SSG's setup have been perfect at burning time, burning utility, and forcing Liquid into really awkward positions. And it just feels like Liquid don't really have a kind of an overall arching plan of what they want to do or how they want to solve that problem.
They do not, and they're going to use 3 of those attacker repicks to take out Thermite, Lion, and Ace. And there are those those Kiba barriers being used once more. And there's Liquid they've really struggled with getting past them.
I mean, we look at what Liquid are bringing roster-wise, okay? You got a Zofia, so you got those 2 impacts, and you got the nades on the side of Finka. Realistically, that's it. You can have a Gone 6 on Lion. They don't really have the best clearing setup, and Azami's always a nightmare to try and clear that utility, because essentially, you clear one, you should probably put another one down. And you clear that, guess what? A third one's coming your way. So Liquid are really forced into a little bit more of a clear, heavy style than they want to play, and that's slowing them down, and that's ultimately been why SSG have been so good so far. SSG don't give anything for free. They don't give up those free picks at all, really making Liquid try to work, and as Liquid try to work further, and they have to get more space, they don't get picks, they get frustrated, and SSG will just live in that pressure pocket all day long.
Oh, they are loving this. They're loving every minute of Team Liquid getting frustrated. Rampy has got the Castle Barricade one way, which will just keep him and Finka on either side as things stand. Finka unleashing those rounds. 34 bullets now for Neskin. The one bad thing about the LMG is that reload time, and Rampy from his position and break will take out one. Dexter gets another. Team Liquid, they are just falling apart now. SSG with a 5v3 advantage, and they're just unable to get any sort of open and picks going.
Oh, Liquid. Oh, no. This is so not the team that I expected to turn out today. They seem a little bit too slow to really get things rolling. SSG's map choice here on border, but can they recover this round? Really just a little bit of patience from them now. Resets waiting, lurking. But SSG, they're comfortable. They're really comfortable in these moments of silence, but Volts maybe was a little bit too anxious to get himself in a fight, but doesn't matter. Rampy's there for the trade. Nesk will find one back on the Dexter, and that could be a little bit of a lifeline for the side of Liquid. What can they do from it? Nesk is alive with his body resets. Just on a minute left to try and clutch this round. A nade ready, sent in, nowhere close to finding damage nor a down. He'll prep, reload, and prime his LMG. With 45 seconds left to go, he decides to take the plunge.
He has dropped, and now he's looking to get a kill. Peeking through the gap, but the members of SSG, they're barely even moving. They don't want to give away any form of audio cue whatsoever. There's no drones for Team Liquid whatsoever. So as you like to say, they are going in blind. Nesk peeks around the corner though, and he'll take down Bosco, making it a 2v2. Now retreat and go get the case. That was a really good decision not to pick it up before you took on that gunfight, because if you had have lost it, you were in a bad spot. But there's just 14 seconds to go. Nesk is going to get a triple, putting himself in a 2v1. He's got resets, holding for some support. Rampy needs to push. He goes the wrong way, and with time going down, the case is down, and it's a 1 versus 2. There's the one from Rampy, and now he finds himself going up against Nesk. Nesk is finally but Rampy gets the quad, and there is the defuse. SSG 5-1 split. He is so good.
I want to see this player come. I want to see how hyped up they are. With the deagle in hand, Rampy shuts it down. I thought for a moment a glimpse of an old school Nesk making a massive play, but no. Rampy, through the rotate, finds the cover and doesn't even need his SMG. Pulls out his pistol and gets the job done. SSG, as you said, gives it 5-1 on the defensive split on a map that leans the offensive side. Red flags waving for the side of Liquid, and that shot, when you need, it's often quicker to swap to your second than it is to reload. And Rampy certainly learned that message.
Oh, that is just really miserable. You know, it's going to put some misery on Team Liquid because they thought they had that in the bag. It's a 2v1. It's the case is down. The win rate there is in the high 90%, but SSG are able to pull it. They're just 2 rounds away now from taking their map. This is the most comfortable that we've seen a team on their own map since Wild against Liquid yesterday.
I couldn't agree more, actually. I mean, they're SSG looking complete control. They are not panicked. They're not flustered. They're so confident right now. Of course, you know, they're 5-1 up. Confidence, I think, is pretty deserved at this stage. I'm finding it hard to say anything about Liquid right now. This is a very muted side. They needed something, a spark on the offensive side. Now they swapped their defense. This is where I'm going to be concerned. SSG are a very well-oiled machine. And with the addition of Dexter, who has been terrifying in 1v1s and taking gunfights in general, and with faults on the Finca, I really think you might need to wake some players up on Liquid to be able to contest with this.
And Gridlock being used by Dexter here as well. And honestly, Dexter was brought in to be a bit of an X factor too at times on attack, and this is now what the situation we find ourselves in. They've got that window. They've got 2 players repelled onto lockers, and here they come pushing in. The diffuser is going down. This has caught Liquid by surprise. SSG clearly watching Wild yesterday, as Bosco will get the case. Cotton gets 2, Rampy gets 1. It's a 5v2. Ask and resets. They've got a lot of work to do. They're going to have to reset, and with that swing, they pull one back. But Whippet, the way things are going right now, there's a score line that people don't quite like, and Liquid are on the way to it.
If Liquid gets 7-1 again, I will be very well. I don't even know how to feel about that one, but a foregone conclusion that round when the case went down so early. Rampy shuts it down. That is match point for SSG. And look at Liquid. That is not a team having fun in the server. It is. They need to find something. They need to find something now. 6-1 SSG on their map choice of Border. Liquid already, they've been 7-1 twice already this event by Wild. Is SSG about to become the 3rd team to do it too? One of the most storied, one of the most legendary teams from Latin America. SSG absolutely on fire here on Border. Match point for our North American squad. Can they close that out right here, right now? Or does Liquid have one more lifeline, one more haymaker to throw to keep themselves in the fight here on map number 1 of this best of 3 series?
Yeah, Liquid, the thing that really hurts me about this is because I have a lot of love for Liquid too, and they really don't seem to have an answer when teams go aggressive and fast. The rush works against them time and time again, and now they need to win 5 rounds. This game is a foregone conclusion at this point for this map. The SSG are going to get the win. It's just for Liquid, it's just about looking good.
This could be the most heroic comeback of all time.
This is true.
I don't believe it. I mean, I really want Liquid to win this. I really want Liquid to try and come. Because what a storyline this would be. 6-1 back and you get this overtime and you get close it out round 15. That would be massive. But they've not shown enough against SSG to really have that. And they're going to the same side again. And how many times in Wild? And this is going to be fast again. Like, if they do the same execution again, with the same, like maybe just a smaller variation, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that at all, I'm going to be raising massive question marks, because this is what Wild done against Liquid. Wild done the same thing time in, time again, and Liquid didn't adapt, they didn't change, they were caught out by it time and time again. But I think SSG may be not considering the exact same method of madness again.
It's not too far away either, though. Houghton is still on that sandwich window. You've got a player up on top of Bus as well, and they've gotten rid of those. Oh, whip it. There goes. This is the push. It's coming in.
Oh my.
It's a different variation of the same idea as Houghton pushed in. PSK will get one, but the case is down. 4v5. Liquid with 5 players up, but 40 seconds left to go on this one. And SSG looking to take their map. Resets, though. That kill will help. It's a 5v3, but look at Dexter's position. Anybody who comes around the corner will find the angle against them. A peek on the window. PSK takes some damage and he's going to get down. Jumping out windows, jumping outdoors. But look at the player below.
Rampy has this one, essentially. He has to get some information upon it, and he might be able to find that now. He'll chew open that floor, he'll look for the pick. Oh, it's going to be a very close one. Nesk, are you going to stick this? Nesk is going to stick it! Liquid find a lifeline! point. Rampy millimeters away from closing that round and closing the map. But Nesk confident in sticking that one out. I thought that was a foregone conclusion. I thought SSG essentially already punched our ticket to Oregon.
I had already, started to get ready to go back to the desk. That's how much that looked like that was a round one for SSG. Now, devil's advocate. This is one of the most passionate teams in all of Siege, and you've just given Liquid a massive boost in confidence on winning a round they shouldn't have.
Yes and no. Yes and no in that one. Okay, so yeah, it's all well and good that we got that round. But how much is that going to change the fundamentals? SSG on the same core strategy twice in a row. We're going to put some smokes in, we're going to flash, we're going to repel someone in sandwich, and they got the plant down in a different position this time, which was a little bit of variation to try and throw off Liquid. It came down to Nesk essentially sticking a plant in what was one of the most dangerous positions. Rampy was so close. I can't even put enough so's on that one to do it accurate to be able to find that head. If Nesk got caught out there, it would have been an Oregon. And so many factors had to go wrong for SSG for that round to happen. I don't know if Liquid, I don't know if that's enough to get Liquid back in this one.
Did Liquid win that round or did SSG lose it?
I think it's the case of SSG losing.
I'd have to agree with you on that one, but this is still match point, one of many that SSG will have if they continue to let Liquid pull rounds back. But it's, as you said, it's either going to be one of the greatest comebacks of all time, or we're just going to see SSG finish what they started. And looking at the way they're going to play, they're going to clear out top floor. They've got the operators in place to do it. It's just a matter of how much time Liquid can burn.
That's the key right now. Liquid just need to make this difficult for SSG. In the same way SSG made it difficult for Liquid, in fact. If you just don't peek, and you sit a little bit more passive, and you just force SSG to take the long way around, you can catch them out. And that's what Liquid need to do. It happened to them, but I don't think SSG have any intention of doing this slow, because they're going to be able to take Armory very, very quickly. They've opened up this wall, that's what Bosco will do. And they have top floor control from this moment, and everyone upstairs is going to get compressed. Forced deeper into the armory, closer to archives, and one player can pop up there and be able to catch them all. I think Fultz is off on that rotation now.
Yeah, and that is what he's going to try to cut off. There was 3 players up on the top floor, but they began falling back, because once that wall goes, comes a very difficult job to do. Rampy, hoping to catch somebody. That's another one of those rotates that he is holding, and this is what some of the good players just do. They sit still, they hold a rotate, because 9 times out of 10 a defender is going to try to rotate back through sight, and Rampy is in a great position to take advantage of that.
If you get caught by Rampy, no one's going to be happy on the side of Liquid for that one. And this is right now what Liquid's going to do. They're going to sit, I should say, SSG's going to sit and do, they're going to be a little bit passive, wait for Liquid to perhaps make that mistake and find that opening pick. The go button's pressed on that line, that will be Rampy, who's someone to take that fight against PSK. He'll find that one now and probably begin to grow. The case goes down, Houghton finds one, Ast will get that trade back to the Houghton. But Bosco, he's going to stick this one down, and he's going to get it. He does, no! In the moment of before it went down, absolutely incredible to Nile, leaving Dexter all alone. Case in no man's land, and this time it's a case of Liquid winning around 40 seconds. And he's going to wait. He'll boost himself up. He'll get himself ready. He's going to drop, but he's going to be dropping into the arms of Liquid. If he can find this, one of the momentous moments for the new addition to this team, but no, Paulo shuts it down.
That, the combination of the explosives and the frost mat, I would love in the replay to see exactly how many seconds were left before that case was going to go down, because it would have been a little bit of a different story. But that's 2 rounds back to back now that Liquid have pulled into their favor. SSG, though, they're still miles ahead when you look at the score, 6-3.
But that's Liquid getting rounds together consecutively. And I mean, that's a big benefit for them. If they can really kind of build that momentum, it will be huge for them.
Protect your bomb.
I'm still so like torn in this one. I want Liquid to do well. I'm a massive fan of this roster, of this team, of this org. SSG just had every single answer to everything, bar for that one with that C4 denied the fan. But I think Bosco was maybe less than a second away from getting that down.
It was close. It was so close. And SSG, once again, though, the minute that they decided to execute, they went all in on making it work. Now, once again, we're going to see Liquid set up the top floor for that Roman game. And there's that terrifying noise popping off once again of the ACS-12. And it's, look at the line of sight it can make so quickly.
It'll chew through that wall, create lines inside. Essentially acts as a kind of pseudo DMR for this defensive side. I mean, some people call it the war drum. Taps away, constant beat of chaos and terror as it sends its lead down range. Will this be enough, though, to be a disruption towards SSG, as well as the mirror setup being brought up for the very first time in this matchup as well, considering she's been available for all the rounds we've had so far, and already one of them's been popped.
Yeah, the Twitch drone able to open up one of them, making that position a little bit more difficult to hold. But this is something that we have seen Brazilian teams do here on the past. They love using Mira, and this is a site where you can really make advantage of her to take control of that top floor. 2 minutes and 20 though to go in this one, and this is where SSG, they're still getting themselves into position, having a little bit of drone work, and they've managed to get the wall open. The impact trick isn't really going to be able to fully stop that from opening up, but SSG, they're just doing their job.
SSG will go through the tech list best they can. They know what they need to do, they know what they want to do. So that's what they'll try and do. They'll impose their playstyle on Liquid. They're not really playing the counter in particular right now. Dexter will try and get his way inside of triple wall now, put some pressure. The open mirror inside of Fountain is going to be a bit of a disturbance, but doesn't matter. It's opened up, but Neska's still going to peek it and find that on the Dexter. Meaning with a minute 40 left to go, Liquid find themselves getting the opening pick in this round. On the defensive side as well, that's massive for them. They're beginning to warm up into this one a little bit. We might have a game on our hands of SSG. Can't claw this round back. Minute 30 left.
Nesk started this one going 0-3, and since then he has gone 7-4. He has been activated, and now Bosco will look to get another wall opened up, but you can just hear those Kiba barriers being thrown as the defenders are putting in a little bit of defensive utility to hold back the push, and that ACS-12 opening up another hatch, but we're inside the final minute now, and Bosco will open that main wall, and look, PSK peeking around the corner, looking to get a little bit aggressive.
Houghton, though, will try and get aggressive himself, and he's going to get sat down by Ask. Finds a second down the round for Liquid. 3 versus 5 in their favor. There's the trade. Bosco will get that one done. They have a little bit of control now inside of CC. Gamble now will open up that mirror window. No! There is Nesk from downtown on the vault. 30 seconds left, and now SSG, you got to solve this puzzle. Rampy on the buck, an operator he's been so iconic for in the past. What magic can he find? 25 seconds. Bosco vaults in, but they're so separate from each other, and the site downstairs as well. But Rampy, he's going to just get aggressive. He's going to go full set, but he's not going to check every angle. The player on Workshop might just catch him. It's going to be a brawl with Nesk, and he's going to win it 3 in the round. That's Paula who gets it. Resets, finds Bosco, and Liquid might just be finding their way back into it.
Are you starting to believe?
Maybe.
They're doing what they have to do. You take it one round at a time. But Liquid have found a way to shut down these attacks. They've found a way to frustrate SSG. And it is now 6-4. They're just 2 rounds away from overtime. If you're SSG, what do you change? Because it looks like they're doing everything right, but then the last minute's just not going their way.
I think it's a little bit of composure. It's a little bit that one more round mentality I talk about a little bit inside the UK region. Lots of teams, especially at lower levels, struggle with one more round mentality. They get a huge lead, they sit on match point, and they begin to let that fall away from them because everything becomes, it's fine, just one more round, we'll try and win this. Right now, SSG have to manage this game correctly. They can't take risks, they need to be able to close this one out. If Liquid continue to get momentum, if they get one more round, that means, well, all of a sudden, it becomes a one-round shootout between going to Oregon or going to overtime.
Yeah, well, we are just taking a break as we see the coach talk to the players as a timeout has been taken. And the benefit of a timeout is it does help both teams, as both sets of coaches can talk to their players. And if you're Team Liquid, after those last few rounds, you're saying more of the same. Keep doing what you're doing. And SSG, they're probably having the exact same little talk that you just had with the viewers.
I mean, for SSG, they need to find something. Of course, both these are emotional rosters, so when you have a lead and you begin to see that fall away, that's going to be a little bit dejecting. And Liquid, they went from a team that looked down and out to getting those 2 rounds that have built themselves off, acted as that springboard, and now they're here. 2 rounds away from getting themselves level with SSG, 2 rounds away from getting themselves into overtime, and really continuing on this fight here on Border. So I think a little bit of a case of just warming up to this matchup. It is SSG's map choice again, and we're really going against the script here because this is meant to be an attacker-sided map.
It is, but the defenders coming in clutching. I love it. I like to see it whenever defending sides start to put up some rounds. Once again, the brunt of the defense. No matter what site you play on this map, you tend to play that top floor because it is so important for everywhere you want to go. And it looks like SSG, they've saw the site, but they're not going to rush this time. They're going to play a more standard attack.
It makes,
Question mark.
I mean, this is pretty standard for what we see on Border. It's going to be a way more aggressive style lineup again because you're going to likely find yourself in way more gunfights in the standard map just by how tightly compressed everything is on this map. And you see like Dexter's always checking these stairs? You got to get cautious now. They're getting a little bit worried about something crazy coming out from the pocket of Liquid. I don't think Liquid are going to be that daring, but of course, runouts can be very well done if you have good information. Wall should open. Dexter will spot that one out, and the Warden will be the first target he has to fight. Over there, that will be PSK, not someone you really want to go brawling with, and you can't really clear him easily. As you send those flashbangs to try and force him away and burn ADSs or burn him eyes, he can throw on those goggles and see right through them.
And there is that second Lion scan, once again pausing those defenders in place, but no work being done by SSG off of them. PSK using Warden, still using that reinforced wall to keep the attackers on their toes on the balcony. And while all this is going on, Ask has snuck his way into security up by the window. They're so caught out looking in towards lockers that this could be the chance for Ask to catch them. But there's the drone giving away the position. Another drone comes in, another drone shot. He is coming under fire from multiple angles, and finally Bosco will take him down. It's a 5v4, and now SSG have the numerical advantage, and they are pushing towards Liquid. They're looking to get not one, they're looking to get a second one to make it a 5v3.
PSK will be the front line of defense in this situation on that Warden. Everything from the vocal point of team or from SSG is towards that main armory wall. They'll likely send someone to rotate later on to try and catch them out, maybe even go up the sandwich window. A minute left in this round. Bosco might be the tip of the spear, queued up with the finger of Fultz as well, of Dexter I should say. And now that's that rotation. They're going to East Stairs now. At least one person. That's going to be the Twitch of Fultz trying to find something. The Lion scan goes up again, but there's Dexter finds PSK. And just like that, Bosco's going to try and stick the case. They're not going to waste any time. They're not going to hunt for any more picks. And Rampy down below might be the fight, but no! Nesk misses a throw. The case surely goes down, but he pulled on off. Paul who finds that on the Bosco, leaving this on a 4 versus 3 in favor now of SSG, but Liquid might have control. And look at Paulu on the flank. He's going to be an absolute distraction, but Fultz swings them wide and finds the pick. A smoke popped in, and they might be able to try and get that case down, but 25 seconds. Liquid, can you hold on?
25 seconds is an eternity, though, for both of these sides. But Nesk is holding the door, playing hyper-aggressive, but still no push coming in. Resets, pulls one back. Fultz has the diffuser in his back pocket, but Liquid have survived the initial part of the push, and they've got the case down as they tried to rotate through Fountain. Case picked up again, pushing in behind that chassis. There's the kill from Resets. That is surely a round win for Liquid, and they are 1 round away from overtime.
They're getting there. They're getting close. I can begin to feel it for Liquid. They're beginning to feel it as well. SSG, you had this game in the bag. You were 6-1 up. Oh no, things have got a little bit dodgy for them now. This is a dangerous position to find yourself in a 1-round shootout, deciding if you go to the next map of the series or you're stuck on Border for a little bit longer. Liquid would love to enjoy their stay at Border, but SSG very much want to see the back end of this map as we move on to round number 12. The end of regulation here. Who will be the victor of this round will be a very different story. Vents will be the site of choice from Liquid. What will SSG do? What can they bring to close this one out? And the biggest thing I'm going to say is, how is the mentality in the camp holding up right now? Because two emotional teams going against each other, and we've just seen essentially a reverse sweep.
And have you seen the operators? They have 6 picked over. This has Rush written all over it. Blitz, Lion, Ying, Glaz, and Finka. This will be fireworks. One thing is for sure, this is going to be fast. We will know very quickly.
They're going to go through that main door. I have no doubt about it. They're going to go through that main door in the vents. Look where they've all spawned. So they will use a Gone 6. They'll clear the barrier. They'll clear any barbed wire on that as well. That's why the loosely ban very, very key in this situation. Hot and cold, very, very, very important for this as they creep and crawl their way up. What will they do? He gets the case up. It's a very critical moment of this one. They're going to try and get themselves ready. They're waiting at the gates. This rush is coming. Bacon. Oh, but Ask will find Dexter. That's one massive pick so early, and this might upset the complete rhythm of this round. Sending in the smokes. That's going to be hot and cold, and he's going to be forced to be the tip of the spear, and in they go. Fultz will try and get it, but no! PSK shuts down Houghton, and this is going to be a disaster for SSG. The first set of Candelas go up, and the case is still cold on the ground. 2 minutes left to go, and it's going to be a disaster if Bosco can't find more heroics, but it's falling apart for SSG. Liquid so close to overtime. Rampy alone against 4. So much time to work with, but Paulie will want to take that fight and regret it afterwards, losing that one out.
It is a 1v3 Rampy. That has all fallen apart as it has been a solid defense from Liquid. But can SSG still pull it back? Rampy, we've seen it in the past. He can win these 1vx's. But Team Liquid just have to hold their crosses. They know where the case is. And for Rampy, he has an uphill task. Where are the defenders? He's going to shoot that alibi, which will just deceive his position once more. And he's going to go the long way around, sprinting, making lots of noise. And there is the corner, and Team Liquid have come back from 6-1 down to overtime.
Have we just witnessed a reappearance of Spacestation Gaming? I think so. They were so close to closing this one out, and now, well, Liquid get themselves overtime. I thought it was done and dusted by the end of the very first half. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Welcome to overtime. SSG in the deep waters in the very first map of this series, and it's their map choice as well. Tristan said it's a 50-50 toss-up between these sides, and well, regulation 12 rounds wasn't up to the side. Up to overtime we go.
So yeah, everyone, you know, most of the community will always say that Oregon's an attacker side of map. We've just witnessed both defenses.
Oregon?
Or sorry, Oregon, my brain. But yeah, they say Border's an attacker side of map. We've just witnessed both teams go 5-1 on defense.
So against the script. So against the script here. I mean, right, SSG, this stage and this period from Charlotte to Berlin have not had the best of time. Right? Nor have Liquid, they're not also going to Berlin as well. This is a fair representative. I think both these teams populate this very similar area within their regions. SSG 6-1 up. We're now all tied up 6-6, reverse sweep. How has this happened? How have you let Liquid back into this matchup? Liquid looked dejected. They looked like it was all but over. They were almost pulling the strap book for Oregon before we even went to the second half of this matchup. And now, nerves begin to mount. Pressure begins to build for SSG. I have a feeling Liquid might just take this map.
And Team Liquid get to go on defense twice in this one. Dexter waiting for the run out, but Liquid, they've not been really baited into it at all. They've not ran out. They've played the interior of the map, and they have found that as a very good way to find success on defense. Dexter pushing up on top of those east stairs, and I just love the way these defenders know when to make noise and know when not to make noise. That spray coming out, it just forces them back a little bit. And, you know, at the end of the day, not every bullet fired in a game is trying to get a kill.
I mean, most of them are.
Most, yes, but not all.
When is an LMG? When is an LMG? I would say about maybe 3 of them are intent to send towards your target, especially in the current climate that we are in. But SSG, a little bit worrisome right now. Gridlock track singers already sent out, trying to disrupt and change the flow of this one. What will Nesk be able to do on the Jaeger? A classic role from this man's career. Really intrigued to see if he can maybe give us a flashback and a glimpse into the past. As False will send that drone up, and it'll be up here, but Bosco will find that opening pick on the Palu. Much better start here. Finally getting some momentum on the offensive side, but Nesk very dangerously close, playing around triple. He's going to play his life and risk it and lose it. That will be a bit of a disaster from him. C4 sent up by Ask, doesn't connect, doesn't land. And a 4 versus 3, but Ask loses his life as well. Danger position tries to tap away the SMG-11, but nothing finds, nothing connects, nothing lands. Minute 20 left in this round. SSG seemingly in control of our very first round here at OT.
Yeah, Hot and Cold needs to work with the rest of SSG just to clear out the better. Ask does find his way back into sight though. 1 minute and 8 seconds to go. This could be Liquid's first opportunity, well, the second time that they would take the lead. First one being, of course, the first round of the game. But now Resets is going to hold that same angle that we saw Rampy use on attack a little bit earlier. But 52 seconds now. And as it stands, both SSG have the numerical advantage, but all those members of Liquid are in very good positions.
40 seconds. 40 seconds Liquid now need to hold on for. SSG have time to get information. They have the case in hand. They've got lots of utilities still to work with. One track, so I'm going to try and cover the audio cue of that plant going down. But these will be nervous few moments, a nervous 20 seconds. PSK still inside of sight, and SSG not making inroads to try and clear him. He's boxed himself in, and he has an angle through a punch hole to try and lock it down. Look at Ask, look at PSK! Finding 2, and Fault's left alone, but he'll drop into Lion's Den. Finding 1, can't make it 2 nor 3. Liquid on map point here on Border. Who would have saw this one coming just a few rounds ago?
A little collateral damage coming in on that spray as 2 members fall, and PSK play. You said he was boxed in, but he was able to just box out of that position and get them on to, as you said, match point on SSG's map. And as it stands, we spoke about the fact that Liquid play with their heart on their sleeves. When they get momentum, they are incredibly hard to stop, and they're just 1 round away from breaking the serve again, because we've set it out. Every series we've done, the opening team will lose their map.
Wow. Wow. As a lifelong Liquid fan of this esports, seeing this is the team I fell in love with all those years ago. SSG now with a dilemma upon their hands. They're on the defensive side, which has been way more successful here on Border today. No doubt about that, but statistically, this map leans towards the attacking side, and Liquid, they're feeling it. They are really, really feeling this tempo increase in their favor, but they were also really, really bad on their attacking side as well.
They were, but this is a good opportunity to prove us wrong and win this one on attack as they use the attacker repick to change up the lineup a little bit. Ash and Zofia, so they have changed the utility a bit to get rid of some of those Kiba barriers, and we assume that Nesk will have that Gone 6 in the back pocket as well. Couple of nades to use, but the one thing about Liquid attacks is they've not really been very grenade heavy. They've been maybe 2 or 4 max every single round.
They prefer to do it themselves. They like to get in the face of SSG and try and take those fights directly. It is an interesting choice, considering how heavy the climate is right now, but they really don't pick around nades to pick around other utility. A rare sight to see these days, of course. Even rarer sight, it's going to be that Ash. Not really a common choice either. Paulu leading the charge right now, first in the building, further try and take control. Trying to creep their way up metal stairs. No one from SSG is seemingly aware. Dexter's the closest to it, but you see that silhouette creeping up the stairs, and that nade will force him away. Force him right into Paulu! Rampy gets that trade on the Nesk though, but Ask will fire back and get one to Bosco. SSG is going to get a little bit ropey now, but they fire back, and that's going to be False, who finds Ask, unsettles the nerves for a moment, gets it back to 3 versus 3.
140 to go as things just slow down once more, but Rampy is low HP. Fultz has been taken down as well, so it is a fully healthy Houghton. And Rampy, who is 1 shot away, looking to hold back the 3 members of Liquid, PSK, Palu, and Resets. and they are really starting to flex those muscles, but still Rampy playing the top floor. Looking off in the distance, and we just heard it, the zero cam has just been shot in to find a little bit more intel on where these defenders are playing, and as we look, nothing has been revealed just yet, and Rampy will reposition himself back down and in the sight to hold back what will be this push from Liquid to try end this map.
Liquid want to close this one out right here, right now. They do not want to be on border any longer at this stage, but tentative few moments. They need information. They need to try and get it found out. They got 4 drones to work with to do so, and all those zero cameras in their pocket as well. 40 seconds, and there's Paulo, there's Rampy. Houghton, your last one standing here in the first map of this series in a 1 versus 3. 38 seconds, and it doesn't last even long. Paulo shuts it down, and Liquid from 6-1 down. Claim border, claim map 1 of this series. Take SSG's map pick, and we're going to Oregon. But Liquid take a bow. Resolve, grit, determination. You've shown it all. And well, Latam, they have only got 1 survivor left, and can Liquid hold that flag high?
7 rounds in a row, Whippet. 7 in a row as Liquid were able to close that out.
Absolutely incredible from them. Absolutely mind-blowing.
And with that, though, we will send it back to the desk to go through that map.
Talk about it.
Thank you very much, friends. Yes, we are back, and Team Liquid, an incredible comeback against Space Station. We thought it was over. We thought this was gonna be done and dusted, and honestly, move away with the whole series. But Liquid come back. They were 1-6 down. Take it to OT, take the win, and you see the smile on Twister's face. Can we just get his camera on the screen? Because this man, the LATAM representative, for the first time we have Brazilian talent that are joining us on the English broadcasting desk, and we're seeing this man happy as all. How do you feel about this game?
I actually, at the beginning, I was concerned about having another 7-1. It was pretty concerning for us. But after seeing how the match was going, I was pretty happy about how Liquid performed, how they were strong in their mindset. They could just get the rounds that they needed. Ask showed up, Task showed up. We had a lot of different showing.
Well, let's take a look at our highlights brought to you by Aramco from the matchup, as I turn to you, Tristan, now for your opinions on this game, because by all intents and purposes, you can call this a Spacestation Gaming kind of moment.
I think SSG are going to be beyond gutted. I think they can't believe that they have lost this match, because in those first 4 attacks that they had, they got nearly 3 plants down. I think 2 went down, and then they nearly got 1, but Ask with a huge C4 stopped it. That's what, that's why we said he's a top performer for them. And wow, I just think they're going to be so upset at not sealing this out. But we spoke about it on the desk beforehand. Liquid yesterday lost 7-1 twice and then came back and won 7-1. We're looking at it here. They were 6-1 down and basically won the match 7-0. This team can bounce back, and this is the professionalism. This is just the strength of having a really experienced roster.
We're taking a look at Sensi, the coach mastermind behind Team Liquid so many years. I mean, some would say it's through him and a lot of his work that Team Liquid as an organization also got their biggest trophies in Rainbow Six all the way over 4 years ago in Atlantic City. And he was so concerned over the past couple of days, and even as this game is going on, can only imagine how rested it feels now that, okay, we got the map, came back, we got what it takes. They pulled it together.
I would say that probably when he see Liquid just getting back this comeback on this map, he just felt relieved to see that Liquid is able to do that thing. I think if Liquid want to win this tournament, they need to do more of this stuff, and they need to go for it.
Now, for this to continue for Liquid, and we talked about it in the pregame, Liquid had to take the first map. That'll give them the momentum to go into our second one. Though, who do you think, Tristan, really showed up and made this win possible? Because it's not just a win, it's a massive comeback that requires a lot of effort.
Yeah, I think me and you both spoke about it, Twister, during all the rounds, like the nail-biting rounds, we were like ASK just, or Ask, however we want to say it, was just, wow. He really clutched up when they needed it, constantly. Resets as well, I think, in one of the 2v4 rounds went huge. Palu always gets kills. Let's not give him too much spotlight. We have to say he was there, and obviously he's an amazing player. We talk about him like Shaiko, but I would single out Resets for a huge clutch round, and then also ASK just for consistently stopping plants going down and really bringing it back on defense.
Impressive showing by Ask and Resets. Liquid really needed these two showing up on this game. They could handle the PSK targeting. I think that SSG just targeted him to not using his operators default. You saw PSK just rotating all the operators all the time, and he couldn't perform in the beginning of the game. This was a mess with Liquid, and the other players had to show up to fill this hole.
Now we have to talk about the elephant out of the room, of course, or I guess the rocket on the moon for Space Station in this case, because they had it all in the back. This was potentially 7-1. Twister, you just mentioned that we didn't want this to go to a 7-1. Thankfully, it didn't for Liquid, but it got close. And I want to talk about that and what could be improved on or learned from very quickly by an incredibly professional team in SSG, Tristan.
We've pinpointed this since literally match one of seeing these guys, not even on the A stream, but on the B stream. When they win a round, they're going absolutely crazy. They're talking like they're the best team in the world, the best players in the world, the best clutch players in the world. But if they lose a couple of rounds in a row, we don't hear anything. We genuinely, it is dead silent and you don't hear anything. And I think that really got to them. Even though the rounds that they lost early in the attacks, it wasn't even that bad. They were nearly getting plants down, or they were getting plants down. They got a little bit unlucky bucking below a diffuser in one of the rounds. But then it's silent. The mood is completely gone. And I think that's really difficult to bounce back from.
We really saw a lot of rounds, as just Tristan said, that could go for whenever round, and they lost it. And this momentum, it was not working in favor of SSG. Being this team that just hype it up and just keep the level of excitement all above the sky, it's not a good thing when you're just losing these rounds in sequences especially. So that's why I expect that Liquid just keep this momentum through the next map.
You would think that this sort of situation wouldn't be happening, but here we are. That's the excitement of having teams on LAN, and two teams that haven't played against one another in quite a while because, well, Liquid were at the most recent major, but SSG were not, and things were very different. You know, over the past 6 months, teams are in and out. Teams are much closer nowadays in competition. I mean, look at the NA League and how close things were, how Liquid was ahead of the curve and everybody in BR6, and yet they couldn't make it to Copa Elite 6, losing to FaZe Clan in literally the very last day. So all of that brings us to this event where it's redemption for both of these teams. And now the question is, does this go to a map 3 or not, before we start talking about that second map?
I would say that probably it might end on the Oregon. Very comfortable map, so I would say that it's it for this series.
Well, it's Liquid's map pick now. They will be just as devastated as SSG if they don't see this out.
All right, let's see. Maybe we'll have another comeback from Space Station to make it map 3. We all deserve a bit of a heart attack on our second day, right? Tristan, Twister, thank you very much. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, we'll lead you through for map number 2 in the series and get it all started. See you in a moment.
عايز تترجم راب؟ تعالى لي. ملوك السين دي انا ملخصه في سطور، بس مين يقرا؟ فاهم؟ كلام الشارع ده انا هرش كل المجال حبايبي. بروز.
وانا كاكازوكو مصدع ابكي نظرة لو على الحلاوة عندي كاستر والاسم.
عفرت يا عفرت، هتفضل معفرتها ولا ايه يا برو؟
انت مين يا هو ازاي ده دخل هنا يا جدعان؟
نكسر الدنيا الاول وبعدين نتكلم، نعيد من الاول.
لا 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 مش مسجل.
اخواتي
عشان فاهمين السين، سبوتيفاي عمل لك بلاي ليست الاقوى راب مصري. اسمع ملوك
Welcome back, friends, to the studio on the analyst desk, where we prep you for our second map in the series. Spacestation Gaming versus Team Liquid, two of the top teams in their own regions going up against one another, and this is a survival match. Team Liquid with a massive comeback on map 1 Border from down 1-6 to winning it all in overtime, and now they prep themselves for their second map. We go to Oregon, and let's bring up that sheet of map vetoes so you can take a look at everything, how it went down, and who banned what and where. Border, that was SSG's pick. We saw Team Liquid starting off on the attacking side and failing miserably on it, but now Oregon is map number 2, Liquid's pick with SSG on the attacking side. Twister, you have been an expert on Brazil, of course, being a big part of the region. You've seen Oregon played by Brazilian teams 1,000,001 times, and that's an understatement. What do you think about Liquid's chances here?
It's a pretty comfortable map for Brazilian teams, actually, as we have very default strats right here, but we are really comfortable playing it. So I would say that SSG has a bomb in their hands right now. The key word here is momentum, so they have to know how to reset their minds, to keep it short and get this confidence, because if you are attacking on Oregon, you need that confidence.
Yeah, and we're talking about attacking, needing confidence. Will you be confident in your attacks right now? You decided to attack this before you knew what was going to happen on Border. Now you've not really won any attacks on Border. How are you going to be feeling? Are you as confident, or we're going to have to see?
So what are the strengths that SSG need to focus on going into Oregon, because they are down 1 map, and we've seen some of the strategies kind of falter in the second half. What's got to change in your mind, Twister?
I would say that right now, to get that confidence back, I would just put some operators that may need to make the round easier. So I would put some operators like Ink, Mont, and where you don't need to do as much as gunfights. So this way you may manage to win the rounds and get this confidence back round by round, and then get into that third bomb site that will see if you will lose or win the match.
Yeah, I completely agree, and as I said about the SSG attacks, they really weren't that bad. I thought SSG attacked way better than Liquid did. I think they were unlucky to lose some of those rounds, and just keep doing what they're doing and just hope that they don't lose 1v1s and 2v2s.
Map 3, yes, no, that's all I ask.
I don't think it will be a map 3.
No.
Ah, there you go. All right, gentlemen, that's all I want to hear. Let's pull up our casters and get ourselves ready. So, Whippet Gibson, all yours.
Cannot wait to crack into this one. Thank you very much, Milosh, as we get ready for map number 2 of this matchup. And I'm going to have to agree with the desk. I think we might not have a map number 3. I think Liquid are going to be absolutely ecstatic with themselves. And SSG tend to show how deep you can dive. What can you do now, as you have just been the victim of a reverse sweep? And that's not going to be an easy hole to climb out of.
It is not going to be, and the mental right now is not going to be in a good spot. You just lost 7 rounds in a row, and we're going to call it back to yesterday. What happened the last time SSG played here on this map? It was a win for Wild, so it is very important now that they can get themselves back in, because I feel if Liquid start getting on a roll again at the start of this one, we're going to hear that bell toll, and Liquid will be representing LATAM in the semi-finals.
I think LATAM need a representative out here, and I think if there's going to be someone, it's going to be Liquid at this. Well, it can only be Liquid at this stage. I mean, we have already got sent home as we go into our operator ban phase, and it will be Ying banned out immediately by Team Liquid. And considering, you know, SSG used a fair bit of Ying, I'm not too surprised at all.
Yeah, that's definitely a direct response to the last map. Nomad taken out again, so that's 2 games in a row. We will not see that. Malusi taken out once more, so SSG are very straightforward with their bans. Same set of bans, both games in a row. Last ban from Team Liquid, no doubt whatsoever. They got that locked in, and we are going to say good night to Kaid, which means hatches, walls, everything is now fair game.
Exactly, with a ball on the board as well, it's going to be much easier to get through everything and chew those open. You have a lot of hard breach utility, those secondary hard breach can openers in the back pocket, lots of very popular operators. Not going to be one of the good examples. You do lose nades for it, but we do see a lot of Nook on this map. So I am intrigued how this will go. Hatch is going to get it opened up very easily. This might mean it's going to swing a little bit more favorable to the attacking side, as those Kaid claws can be a nuisance to clear and deal with. But in the storyline of this matchup, SSG were 6-1 up on their map choice, and now they're going in to their opponent's map choice, a map down. that is going to be a very, very tricky position to find yourself in. And Liquid, massive momentum, massive energy buff for them. And they're going to be starting the defensive side on the basement. This is typically the freebie defense win.
It is, and this is where we need to see SSG show us the mental that they have in the back pocket, because they just lost 7 rounds in a row. I keep bringing it up because what, that happens very rarely, especially when you've got 2 teams of this caliber. But you spoke about it, this is usually a default free win for teams on the defense when they come here. And it is nice to see that SSG, they've read the situation and they are using that attacker repick once more to bring those nades to the party.
Well, you need them. Again, this is why attacker repick has kind of changed the climate that we're in right now. SSG have seen what they're going to be facing up against. They're like, time to bring some nades, time to bring some clear. We see that one soul hard breacher in the side of Bosco. Again, that's the role Bosco plays in that more support position. So they don't have any contingency plan. They don't have any secondary hard breach. So if that Habano does falter, any player on the hatches is going to waver. And SSG, yesterday actually, enjoyed playing very aggressive on the E-box hatch, and it was often to their own detriment. So I really hope they don't try to involve that very similar strategy this time out. But Liquid look like they're already setting up to stall SSG, and they've read into this massive west side entrance and clear.
Yeah, they watched the game. They know exactly the situations going on. It's probably why they took SSG to this map. Now we'll see Iana being used to open up that door. And as things stand, Dexter, who's been having an absolutely fantastic couple of games over these few days, coming in new to the roster, will look to continue that. Fultz, Jackal on this map can be great as well, but the thing is, the player whose feet that you can see, long gone.
You see, just by the color coding on it, again, they're nowhere nearby. They've already fallen back the side. The time you took to clear that Fultz, well, that was valuable time you can be using in that execution. So with a minute 40 left in this round, rotation calls. So SSG essentially cleared the entirety of this map. They can now start getting everything in place for that execution, which hatches, map control, picks, you name it, they'll try and get it. Rotation now Fultz going down towards elbow, as Rambi will give himself some flexibility in rotations around, but SSG likely going to go for some significant pressure inside of Freezer. They're going to need it, and they're going to go for a very multi-pronged approach, but we haven't seen a whole lot of Liquid yet because, well, they're sitting offside essentially.
Yeah, they've turtled down and they're forcing the members of SSG to come at them, and with a minute left on the clock in situations like this, if it is going to come down to a very fast, aggressive push, Liquid need to stay calm and understand the situation. Now the push is going to come through. Ask got a little aggressive trying to find the kill, but didn't give away enough of his position for Fultz to get the kill. And now the smoke grenades are going to be thrown to buy even more time. Those smoke canisters are just so good at buying time. There will be a sprint through. Dexter is going to get taken down. Ness gets one. PSK and Palu. Are we going to see a team ace here at some point? Well, it's all down to resets. If resets can find it, it is PSK. Flawless from Liquid.
You always want to start a map the way you want to continue it in the flawless round. That's exactly what you want for Liquid. So far, Liquid on an absolute tear of rounds. Remember, 6-1 down. They've won all those rounds. Now they've won another one. That's a lot of consecutive rounds. They just keep stringing together. So for Liquid, that's going to be their gimme, though. That is the basement on Oregon. You kind of expect to win that one. Now SSG, it's time to test them as they likely go up the dorms or pick one of those middle for tertiary, typically tertiary sites for this. But Liquid, good start from them. Flawless round. You could never argue with that one. SSG, while they got the map control, they got all the hatches, all the angles. They didn't get a pick. Liquid have learnt a lesson from what SSG done to them, and they're deciding, you know what? We're not going to take a gamble. Why take these unnecessary fights? We'll wait. We'll let the clock do all the heavy lifting for us. SSG had no answer to time itself.
Liquid, I am loving what I've seen from you guys in the last 8 rounds. And now we go back up to that top floor into bunks. And the way that teams like to play this side again, a little bit of pressure on attack on white stairs, cut off the rotate over through Shoyer's corridor. We've seen Wild do a lot. We've seen them jumping out on drones with it to make sure that they were able to freely rotate around. And Ask is going to use that bailiff to create a line of head heights all the way out through that main double door.
Give himself a massively long angle to work with, and he's going to try and contest SSG. So perhaps that, passivity, that decision to play a little bit more reserved might go out the window now. But again, what they've done here, even by these wooden barricades going everywhere, is slowing down SSG. Right, this is going to be another thing to clear. It's like maybe only a second to hit it down or shoot it down, but it's an extra second, and Ask can rotate away essentially freely with being Oryx as well, and dive through them with a single press of a button, or go up and down the hatches available to him inside a meeting.
And Ask is still playing by the main double door, but a heavy focus being pushed in towards Master Bedroom. Dexter has already pushed up towards Trophy, followed closely behind by Bosco, who just had a look around to see if there was any cameras in and around Bedroom, but didn't spot the one inside the TV, which is just feeding information to those Liquid defenders. The stim will tell me that the push is about to come, and Nesk is going to get 2 for free, and it is a 4v3. Nesk, this is what we were expecting from you this tournament.
Nesk not only gets those 2 picks, he goes in and gets an impact trick, and there's going to be Ask as well. He'll get the pick on the faults, and now pressure begins as SSG are boiling. Point Rampy will get 1 on the Nesk, but he's going to choke so much and lose a lot of HP for that pick. A minute 35 left in this round. Rampy and Bosco, the last 2 standing. If you wanted anyone on this roster that's not Houghton to be able to be in the advantage position, it's either of those 2 as well. And you got both of them, and against 3 of Liquid. PSK Ask resets. What can they do? Hold out for just a little bit over a minute, and they get themselves a 2nd consecutive round. SSG, tentative moments for them, gathering some critical information, but Liquid, they know, don't take a risk, don't take a gamble, let's hold our crosses and just wait.
Yeah, 1 gas canister in the pocket as well from PSK, which can be used to further delay this push, and Bosco cannot afford to spend a single second inside of it as he just waits for that free kill. He's hoping that a defender will pass, but Liquid are in positions where they don't necessarily need to push, but resets will do it anyway, but unable to find that kill. But still holding back this team, or this SSG push, and once again, it just looks like SSG have run out of ideas.
SSG will have to funnel themselves through this doorway, and that is going to be a simple cleanup for the side of Liquid. Another round consecutively from the previous map. This is what? How many rounds, Gibson, now is this?
9.
Wow. 9 rounds from Liquid uncontested from SSG. Oh, when it rains, it pours.
From 6-1 down, by the way, for anyone who's just joining us, they have won 9 rounds in a row. And what a performance. And as you pointed out, that move from Ness, getting the double kill, impact tricking as well, just had such an impact. Team Liquid looking to go 10 rounds in a row if they can win this one. And those guys in LATAM, those passionate fans, we know they're loving this.
You know, Twister's loving this as well.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely just soaking in the moment. Going, I'm finally going to win a game out here. It's been fantastic from Liquid so far. SSG, trying to stop the bleeding just a little bit. If you lose 10 rounds consecutively to a team, any team, that's a massive blow to morale, massive blow to your scoreline as well, going 10 rounds down. I'm beginning to believe in Liquid just a little bit more right now. Just a little bit.
They just made us wait. You know, they made us wait over the course of the first day to come back hard on day 2. SSG reeling as things stand. But this is them on attack. Their chance to just work and make something happen. Anything at all. SSG, they will take a really messy round 1 at this point just to get a round 1.
I mean, any round victory is better than none right now. If you continue to let Liquid have this reign of momentum, you're really inviting essentially unnecessary pressure upon yourself here. I mean, well, actually, we're barely into the round. I can't count sometimes, especially when on camera. So Dexter will bash open that window. He'll send that Gone 6 in just to clear some very critical utility. The go button's pressed once again on the hands of Lion, and SSG are trying to be aggressive, trying to be in the face of Liquid, but as I said already, Liquid have learned a lesson from Border. They're not going to give SSG anything. They're going to be reserved. You're not going to see a whole lot of Liquid until the final few moments of this round because, well, if SSG aren't given a pick, they're really struggling to find one, and especially on a linear map like Oregon, it's not an easy job to do so.
Yeah, and Ask is going to begin doing some recon with those Echo drones as well, which is something that's come into the game in the last couple of years because they're obviously not as invisible as they used to be. They're pretty obvious when they're spotted, so why not use it like an ad hoc Mozzie where you can just fly around the map and get even more information. Rampy now looking to push through Attic, getting that hatch down open to Attic, which already is also a position of power. But SSG, 1 minute and almost 30 seconds into the round already, still clearing out that top floor.
This is slow. This is very slow from SSG. This is while, yes, they're a structured side, and Paul is on the flank here, and that's going to be able to find one to Folston. You're going to be a little bit worried right now for the side of SSG. Paulu's position's known, but the first pick is going to go in favor of Liquid once again. SSG slow, lethargic, don't have an answer. Again, this is a tertiary site. This is essentially what you'd assume is the gimme for the offensive side here on Oregon. And Liquid don't look like they have any intention of abiding by the rules at all. Just over a minute left in this round. What can they do? What can SSG recover? Only one player down. They've only lost Fultz so far, but time will be your nemesis, and Resets might just creep his way down white stairs and find something else.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the crouch walk. The knee of Finka gives away the position on small tower as well. Dexter thinks that he's being sneaky, but the members of Team Liquid know exactly where he is as that Echo. It's just in such a good position. It's a position that they don't expect the Echo drone to be. Houghton, though, pushing in towards site. The nade from his teammate will force him back, and now the aggressive button has been pushed. Bosco hits a beautiful shot on the ass, and with 1 HP in a dream, he is planting that diffuser. 4v4, and look at the kill feed lighting up as it's now a 3v2. Ness gets traded out. Another spray, but this is a post-plant situation, Whippet.
We have 30 seconds till we hit Critical and Rampy at a key position. SSG only down to 2 players, however, it's going to be Dexter and Rampy against 3 of Liquid. What can they do, though? Time is going to be in their favor now. Rampy in a corner, tucked away, but look how separate SSG are right now. Liquid need to find one pick and find it now, and Rampy met by 3! And now surely Dexter will have to find something heroic, and the Azami barrier will stop him in his tracks. He'll get one to Paulu, but PSK will stick this, and he's going to get it shut down. And that is Liquid. That is 10 consecutive rounds in this series against SSG. Liquid in a run of form right now. SSG, you gotta put this fire out before it spreads, because you're running out of time here in Oregon.
Liquid are playing so well right now, whatever happened. And we said it, they're a team that once they start believing, once they get the passion going, they are nearly impossible to stop. SSG are the exact same, and they are the ones right now that are staring at this massive ball of snow coming down the hill.
They can't stop it right now. They need to find something. It's going to be something heroic to get over this mountain that is Liquid. 10 rounds in a row. 10 rounds in a row. SSG, you need to find something. Find it now, because you're running out of time, as I said before. And these attacks, they've looked slow. And they've looked slow for Oregon. I don't expect absolute lightning pace on a map like Oregon, but SSG just a little bit off the pace. And Liquid really are exploiting that.
They are, and I am loving it. There's no better way to shut down a structured side than meeting them with even more structure of your own, and it's been very difficult for SSG to break it down. Team Liquid now, as we pointed out, 10 rounds in a row. Are we going to get 11, or can SSG stop the bleeding? This is a deep cut that they have, and Dexter will begin to drop. You know, this has been a crazy game, but we were over an hour ago, we thought that the first map was going to end, and here we are an hour later, just 4 rounds into map 2.
This is absolute insanity to me. Absolutely crazy that Liquid managed to pull this one off. It's a change of play. What Liquid have done is so... it's not mind-blowing, but they've read into it. They've changed the way they're playing. SSG struggle to get the picks here. SSG done the same thing to Liquid. Liquid have just said, you know what, it's difficult to win if no one's peeking you. Well, it's not going to peek. And this is really frustrating SSG. It's making them work really hard to try and break down this defensive structure. And they have a new player coming in as well. Dexter is new to this side, not going to be like as in rhythm with the rest of the team, but Fultz certainly is finding the opening pick on the ball. Rampy takes a massive amount of control. Ness can begin to fall back now, and that pick going in favor of SSG. Good start, because you're on the hardest attack side and you've got the first pick, and it wasn't traded away from Liquid, so now perhaps you can consider just trading your way to victories. The last 4 members of Liquid have all compacted themselves deep inside of sight.
And Palu has been one of the stars of this comeback so far that we've seen from Team Liquid, but SSG find themselves with the numerical advantage. But one thing I want to touch on, they've only got 6 kills of this map, and we are halfway through round 4. That's how dominant the Team Liquid have been on defense, so SSG will really need to start upping those numbers. Ask will get rid of that Flores coming down the stairs, and now Dexter get out of push. And this is the attack we see all the time. Freezer and Laundry trying to cover the angles, and they're just thinking maybe they might drop down the hatch, but no, we know exactly what push is coming from SSG.
What actually happened there, so the reason they rotated away there is because that Azami clone got shot out. So the intention was there to use, not the Azami clone, the Honor clone, was just, the intention was clear the Azami gate with that one, and then all of a sudden, you know, you can push on in. But now we got a real rotation, so a little bit of pressure. Now E-Box hatch might be a factor now as well as Freezer. We've only got 30 seconds left to scrap through this round, and only 4 members of Liquid still stand. So detonation of explosions all around, and there's the go button pressed on Lion. PSK though in a huge position, that nade will push him away as well. Everyone inside of Freezer now as they cascade on in, but that's going to get fully blinded. It's going to be a flurry of kills now, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. PSK still tucked away in that corner. Bosco will find one more of his own. SSG in complete control, it feels like, and that Lion will stop this push from PSK. Heroics now requires, he's going to swing wide. He knows the player's still inside of Freezer. Reset's going to get slain out, and that's going to be too many bodies to deny. Finally, SSG get 1 round back. They stop the 10-round streak of Liquid. Huge from them, well played, and a good late round adaptation, realizing we can't push Laundry. Let's put all of our eggs into that Laundry plush, and it worked out perfectly. They get themselves the very first round here in Oregon.
And is that a Band-Aid, or is that stitches that have been put on that wound that SSG have after those 10 rounds lost in a row? It's 3-1, and all of a sudden things don't look anywhere near as bad. If we see SSG win this next round, you're sitting at 3-2, and you're like, what was people even worrying about from the SSG side of things? But look who PSK's brought to the party. Clash.
That's going to grind this to an absolute halt, isn't it? That Clash is going to be a difficult thing to deal with. You're not going to be too keen on it. They'll see it, of course, in the drone phase, or they'll likely assume it from hearing it waltz around the building. And they have the attack replay to try to deal with it. But this basement site always comes down to time. Time is the biggest factor that compresses the offensive side into these difficult positions. And if you're in that late round push and you're met by a Clash, well, that's a whole new puzzle to solve. So it's really important, if they want to play this, I'm assuming, turtle strategy, they need PSK to stay alive as long as possible.
That's the job of Clash, to enable the rest of the defenders as well and give you so much intel. But there's going to be a bit of shield-on-shield action as Dexter has brought a blitz to the party as well. And when you see a blitz, there's only ever one thing that you think of, but it is hard, fast, and direct.
Well, Blitz can essentially only really do that in a slow and kind of map control-oriented push. It's very difficult to make that Blitz work as effectively. So, judging by the spawn position, he's going to go down those Laundry stairs. And Paulu's in a very, very good position on the Warden to essentially be, you flashed me, okay. And, you know, if you throw those goggles on, it's not going to really be a massive factor. SSG will go through the processes now, clearing that verticality upstairs and the hatch, meaning anyone playing around those stairs is going to be forced back. That will give themselves some space if they want to do that execution, if they want to be quick with that Blitz. But I do think they're going to kind of have that as an ace up their sleeve later on in this round, as Dexter will just be waiting to get deployed with the rest of the squad.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of when that button is going to be pushed, because when it is pushed, they will go as fast as they can. Rampy still just clearing out that main focus. You don't want anybody getting in behind your lines when you go for a push like this, because it can be an easy 1, 2, 3 kills if it is the right player. Bosco opening the hatches. There is the first push of that Lion, and here goes Blitz getting in position over by that construction door.
They're just waiting. They're going to wait. They're going to put a Lion scan in. They're going to send that all in. I'm very much intrigued to see how this is. Alt walking being as slow as possible, slow and quiet. Don't want to give away this play. Liquid, are you ready? Are you ready at home in Twitch chat as well for this one? SSG getting ready to send in, deploy the Blitz. We'll have to wait just a little bit longer. Normally you see teams like Wild, for example, they don't really care about this whole map control and droning stuff when you have a Blitz. You know, kind of push aces in the elbow and wait. But I'm assuming they've gone 6s there, and in they go. And they're going to be met with the player inside of elbow and a mirror window, and there's the Clash. Oh no, SSG, you've walked right into the trap of Liquid, and that's going to be picking up kills left, right, and center. And SSG reduced to 1. It's Volz alone out in barrels, and I'm going to say this is a round for Liquid.
Well, that attack rush became a defender rush as they just tore apart that push. The Clash was the hero, closing that little hole all by herself. And now Fultz is just waiting time. Look, this is just an exercise in how many 1v1s he can get. But no, Palu is there. And Liquid go 4-1 up. And dare I say it, Whippet, are we going to see, in regulation, 3 5-1 defensive halves in a row?
That would be insane. That would absolutely be insane to see. That what a storyline that would be coming out of this matchup, coming out of this competition at all. We've had a lot of very dominant opening halves from teams in this competition so far, especially here on the A stream. It's been really compounded to these close matchups. But SSG strategy, I mean, whether that was a counter strat, a read, or just a random pocket strat call, it worked out perfectly for them. I mean, Liquid, take a bow with that one. That worked out perfectly for you as they move on to round number 6, the last of the defensive side for Team Liquid. And they're going to go up to dorms once again. And look at that man, Nesk. Last time we were here, he had a mega performance, getting 2 picks, denying an impact, tricking the wall behind him, and being just in that key position, really vital for his team. From a player who was a little bit quiet on border, I'm very impressed with how Nesk is performing in Oregon here today.
I think he's gone from not, now this is caster math, so it's always a little bit iffy, but he was 0-3 in the first map. And he finished, I believe, was it 10-7? And now he's got another 6-3 in this one. He has been absolutely on it so far. And we see an engager, Oryx, taking a little bit of damage. That wasn't a gunfight for viewers at home. That's just Oryx using his ability to create those rotates. But part of me wants this to go 5-1 just because I've never seen a series like this go 3 5-1 defensive halves in a row.
That would be insane to see. It really would be absolutely nuts to witness that one. Nexter will take a little bit of damage early. Will top himself up as well. Of course, that is the benefit of the Finka. Left a little bit alone right now, forced a drone for himself. As Ask, who's had massive impact. Well, Ask's the IGL of this roster, and you really don't see an IGL in many regions popping off the way Ask has done so far. Only on 4-3 so far, but had a huge impact throughout rounds on the previous map as well. Dexter trying to be the tip of the spear, creeping, crawling, twisting their way closer and closer to the trophy. A drone there to help back up and provide support and key information. Just set a flank watch up as well, I would imagine. Oh, they found that Valkyrie camera, so they're going to be able to not be worried about C4s down below. But SSG a little bit more direct this time, and they're really speeding it up, which is what they need to do.
Much better. This is how they need to play to just take the fight to Team Liquid. And Fultz will now get that Votero into sight to just clear any utility that will allow them to open up that wall. Nesk is that utility though in this position using Azami. Another explosion pops and Palu takes a bit of hurting, and there is the impact trick.
Nesk in this position is just an absolute maestro at it. That's going to be even more X-Car's Pellets denied. The Rotero drone forces him away, but the Zami barrier he sends up, guess what? Gets him a free cross on the player on the game's window, showing exactly how versatile that operator is. Minute 15 left in this round, all 10 players still surviving. And this is only going to favor Liquid as SSG running out of time once again. The breach now open, so they have that avenue to get that plant down in default, but no one's down below, and so he's resets. He's got that C4, and this is going to be huge, but he's going to get caught out. He's going to have to back away, and they can no longer play for that direct denial.
But Ask has backfilled that position. Hot and cold gets the opener as PSK will fall, but there's resets to get one back the other way. That will be Fultz falling. 4v4. Team Liquid looking to take a 4-round lead. SSG trying to crawl one back, and Houghton will fall. Ask will get that kill. And now Dexter will pop the Finka, jumping in through the window. Nesk gets 2, and that is the round. 3-5-1 defensive halves in a row, and Liquid are locked in.
This is not the Liquid that showed up against Wild. This is a much better side, SSG. You got to find some answers now. 5-1 down. Liquid got a reverse sweep on border. Surely we're not going to see SSG find, what, 7 rounds against them? This would be huge if that unraveled this way. But you can tell, those player cams tell a story. Liquid, they're having fun. They're absolutely enjoying their time right now. This, again, is their map choice. They went through the slog to get through border, and SSG brought that one out of the map pool. And now, well, scoreline speaks for itself. Liquid 2 rounds away from progressing on to tomorrow. and sending SSG home.
The boys from Brazil are so close to being 2 rounds away from that semi-final, 2 rounds away from joining those really good sides. That 100k extra prize pool as well. Not a bad thing to be playing for inside this game. And SSG now, can they do what they did in the last map? Can they do what Team Liquid have done twice in a row? And the success of all of these defenses with it has been not getting too aggressive.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, on border, we saw that as well. We saw a very defense-heavy border map, and the reason is SSG didn't give Liquid anything, and we saw the kind of the reverse of that one. Liquid didn't give SSG a single pick. 5-1 in, you know what we're seeing right now. So Nevska's going to wait for someone to get a little bit of information, and he's going to pop that barrier, and he's either going to go in himself, or someone's going to arrive behind him and send it through that. And well, guess who's there? That's the mod they've asked. They send them in, and this is map control for absolute free. This is so free, and the roam presence of SSG, well, you know Monty's there now, so that kind of begins to change your plan.
Yeah, and Palu, though, will get the opener. Dexter will fall. Steps onto the goo mine, but it's okay, because Legion is out, and you've nobody else to deal with. Hot and cold, peeking through Freezer, but Ask is just pushed right up on top of that door. And he's going to push towards Pillar now. A lot of this defense from SSG is focused on the ground floor, and Fultz is going to begin creeping up white stairs. And this could be massive, but Whippet, honestly, Team Liquid, I don't see anyone on drones. I don't see anyone on flank. They're just going for kills.
I wouldn't say they're hunting for kills. I'm pretty sure they're confident in map control. Polly will get caught out by that double roam presence now by Rampage. Now, that's what they were relying on. A player watching it, not a drone. There is a rotation setup. That Dokkaebi call goes out now, but actually there is no rotation. Yana was just there. Okay, fair enough. So that Azami is going to be, you know, just but timed out just a little bit wrong. But resets, knows these players are up here, and he's going to creep his way in. He's inside a pit now. They're not going to be there for him, but he's going to wait. And if he plays his cards perfectly, he's going to catch them napping. There's Rampage, but he's just climbed up the T3. He's going to try and deny it, but those tracer rounds will give away his position. He's going to be left on an island now all alone. Ness is going to get hot and on sight, and this is a massive problem. Fultz is locked in. He is trapped, but Bosco is going to be playing it patiently and waiting for the right moment to strike. And there it is, 2 versus 2, or 2 versus 3 now. Bosco, huge performance as Fultz is now given the opportunity, the window to get back to site and help his team. But Ask, he's going to get that case down.
And Monty is just going to extend that shield and make it impossible for Team Liquid to win this round. There's resets, there's PSK, attackers win round 7, and Team Liquid, yes, Team Liquid are on game, set, and match series point Whippet from 6-1 down in map 1.
If you show me just the scoreline of the first half of the very first map here on Border, I would say, what do you mean Liquid are going to win? What do you mean SSG's going home? What? No, that couldn't be possible at all. But well, guess what we're on the cusp of saying? SSG have no answer to Liquid. Liquid went through the storm on Border, and now, well, they're reaping their rewards. Absolutely brilliant from them here on Oregon, leaving themselves 1 round away from advancing further. SSG, you got to get 5 rounds consecutively to stay in this competition.
Where have we heard that before?
What?
An hour ago.
It would be. A little bit higher stakes now, considering that we have already got 1 map played and banked up by Liquid. However, we've seen 1 reverse sweep. Oh, we've seen a second? Surely not. No, don't want to believe it.
I just heard from the green room Twister roaring no. He's so far away, guys, but we know he is loving every single second of this, as is every single player from the region of Brazil. Because this is the thing with it. Yes, you have your favorites when it comes to your leagues, but when it comes to international tournaments, you back your region.
Absolutely. You gotta be agreeing with your region. You've got to absolutely back them with all of it. But right now, for all the NA fans, you are not going to be sitting too comfortably right now. SSG 1 round away from leaving and exiting this competition, leaving only TSM standing to represent your region. That's not going to be a very good premise right now, as their run of form hasn't been too ideal, as they will be playing later on today in their lower bracket matchup against Falcons. The Lion Scan sent out once again. I think Liquid are going to be unrelenting with the pace of this attack. They've decided to not wait around. Reset's cautious of this run out. We've seen that one before this tournament already. And that's going to be, I think, right now, calm the nerves for Team Liquid. You're one round away. Play it right, play your game, establish yourself, but Nesk has been given so much free reign. He's bottom white stairs and the sight's just above him, and resets inside of Armory already? Oh no, SSG are giving up a lot of free map control. Do they have an answer? That C4 sent up to the ether, and they've just lost a massive bit of utility. Look how early in the round this is. Liquid in a good position so far.
Yeah, it's not looking good for SSG, even though they've still got 5 players up with Liquid. They've got 3 players on the balcony. 1. We need to double check, but I think Nesk may still be floating around white stairs. And you've got your Zofia playing inside library. No utility being thrown in the trophy to just force those defenders further and further back to put them into a corner. And that is where Liquid, I think, thrive the most. When you have all the defenders in a little close area, when you have players like Nesk, you can tell them apart. Fultz misses a huge opportunity and he falls back.
No, not like this, but that will be Dexter. He's going to get one, but there's resets for the trade. The opening inside of Walkin might be a massive opening, but there's the nade. Rampy will get one on the Nesk, however. It's going to be a 3 versus 3. These teams cannot find a separation from each other. What? All 50 seconds left. Rampy, bottom white stairs. The rotation held by Paulu, but we see Rampy run and scamper away the opposite direction, down by green. 40 seconds. Tentative moments. Liquid waiting. SSG preparing for the wave. The onslaught of Brazil to arrive upon their doorsteps. 30. Every second, every heartbeat waits for this one. And this pick can be critical as Fultz won't whiff this time. 20 seconds and now SSG have a lifeline, have a hope. And Team Liquid, time to get scrappy, time to brawl. And SSG stay alive. Fultz picks up the final piece. And is this the beginning of something? It's a long road ahead of SSG, but Liquid's already done it once this series. Good performance from them and Fultz. Good flank, good rotation, good recovery to get that one closed out. We now have a 6-2 scoreline in favor of Liquid.
4 in a row is what the doctor requires now. And I don't know if my heart can take it. This has been a very big game, and this is still the groups Whippet. This is an incredible start to this tournament. But as this goes, you lose and you're going home. You win, you go to the semis. This is match point, series point once more for Team Liquid. And we're going back down to the basement. And look at that lineup that's being taken. Yes, of course, there's 30 seconds to still lock it in, but it's aggressive, it's angry, it's dangerous. And as you turn your attention over to SSG, Warden is there. You've got yourselves Smoke, another operator who's very good at delaying time. But at home, take a deep breath, because once that match start points happens for everyone till now to the end of the game, it is going to be intense.
I don't think I can handle this. I cannot handle this at all. Both of these teams have such a special place in our scene. SSG, former world champions. Liquid, I mean, the last time they had trophy wear would have been Atlantic City against G2 many, many moons ago. You really have to really want the cheer for this side right now. As Liquid 1 round away from moving forward, sending SSG home. And I think they have every potential to do so. Nesk really coming alive this time, coming alive this map. Was quiet on border, but shows still has that ability to be one of the best in the world in this server. But Fultz queuing up to try and take that early engagement. That's resets, rotate green. But no information for Liquid right now. Pretty weak on the drone game so far in this early stage.
And just as you said, they hop on the drones. They were listening to the cast. I don't think they should, because sometimes we get things a little bit wrong, but Fultz will fall back onto site. Lion popping that EDE, just freezing those defenders in spot once again as they push through Kitchen. And as you look through the attackers, not a single one Whippet is currently on a drone or getting intel.
I really want to hope that they've got good pre-places that they're going to check, or they have people set up to hold these rotations across. Paulu will get information that no one's in T3. Now, we get the benefit of silhouettes. We know no one's there, but we've seen already that SSG are more than willing to go there later on inside a round. We're at the halfway point now, and PSK still trying to climb the ladder with his drone. I think he gets it done this time, don't you reckon? Slowly but surely, he gets
There
it done.
we go.
Hey! And he'll now be able to get, okay, we already do it, it's clear. Well done, okay. Back to Drody, back to Drody.
They don't have time to do it again. You don't have the time.
He already got the info, it's clear.
Exactly. And now, Ask will begin opening that hatch. One thing I don't want to see from Liquid is the same thing that SSG tried on Wild, which really fell apart. Resets, tossing nades, down by pillar. That opening pick is just vital for this one. And there's that Kiba barrier once more that's just so difficult to attack through because you can see nothing, they can see your toes. Resets will hit the nade onto Rampy, and he hits 10. Match point, 5-4 in favor of Team Liquid.
40 seconds left to work with, and Liquid with that opening pick. They are attacking the hardest site to find, but that's going to be SSG. Oh, volley with Houghton and Dexter. Now it's all down to two members of Liquid, and PSK will take a beating for his aggressive push inside of Freezer. 30 seconds, and Esk will get one. That's going to be Houghton off the board. Are you starting to believe that Esk can pull this one back? He's been on fire in form recently. Both members of Liquid on low HP as well, and now it's all done on Esk alone in the 1 versus 3. He can't catch a player inside of elbow. Will SSG get too aggressive now? He'll have to check every corner, every angle, but look at that time top of your screen. It's going to hit red very shortly. There's only 10 seconds left to go. If anyone can win this out, it's not going to be Ness. This time it's Fultz is there, tucked on the corner. SSG find their second round in a row. There's no way. I'm not going to believe there's going to be a second reverse sweep. Nope, not going to believe it. There's no way. Simply not. But Liquid coming very, very close. That is the hardest site to attack. So even with the opening pick, it's not going to be a guarantee to get it. But Liquid do fumble just a little bit there, giving SSG one more round. 6-3 our scoreline. SSG 3 rounds away from getting this overtime.
It is 6-3. There is a long road ahead of SSG, and one pothole is all it takes to take them off that road and send them back home. For Team Liquid, they're right at the finish line, but they've got 1 foot beside the checkered flag, but it has not been flown just yet, because as long as Spacestation Gaming are still alive, there is a chance. But this is Team Liquid, and this is some of the best we have ever seen them play.
I wouldn't say it's the best we've ever seen Liquid play.
Some of the best.
Some of, okay. Yeah. It's a little bit of a glimpse back in the past, but Tio's been good. Look at Liquid right now, by the way. They are a happy team. They're enjoying it right now. I mean, look at the rest of the guys. They are having an absolute blast. They are having fun. That's a massive key to success out here in a competition this big, of course. SSG. 3 more rounds to go. You can't make a mistake. You cannot slip. You cannot fumble. You must be as precise and concise as possible. As much as a professional all these players are, nerves begin to creep in at this stage of a match.
And that's where the IGLs, everything has a massive impact. Calm your team down. Team Liquid, you're in the position that SSG were in over an hour ago. And can you do what SSG couldn't? Back up to the top floor now. Sorry, it's the tertiary site. They're doing their prep on the top floor. One more chance for SSG. Every single round is do or die. Every single round. One slip up at all, and Team Liquid will represent Brazil in the semis.
Everyone from Brazil like that. Everyone from Brazil wants that. Can they get it there, though? 1 round away from doing so, so I certainly believe it's in their wheelhouse to get this one closed out. SSG, we're going to play on this idea. This now needs to be flawless. They can't make a mistake. Now this needs to be some of the best siege they've ever played. They are a strong side. No doubt about it. One of the best to ever do it, and look at the depth of this roster. Absolutely insane.
Reloading.
But Liquid have momentum. Well, that might begin to waver now. 2 rounds for SSG consecutively, but Liquid did win 10 at the start of this matchup, or sorry, in this series consecutively. So I think they're going to slow it down a little bit. SSG won't take risks. Liquid will also be a little bit risk-averse right now. They don't want to throw away such an early advantage. First Valkyrie camera cleared away. Good drone work and network from Liquid as we begin to work their way towards that initial objective.
And as it stands, SSG are looking to put some holes into this one to try drain Liquid out. But now Nesk is already inside Armory again. 50 seconds gone, and there is 1 drone down. Tosses another one to get even more until so many resources being put on the top floor. There's 3 here, and there's 1 on top of Big Tower as well. Do you know what that means, Whippet? one man on site if the members of Liquid can work that out. Resets is going to get the opener, and Resets is pushing right towards site, and he is passing the information. It is clear they have everything they want. Nesk has something even more as he takes down Fultz.
This is going to be really touch and go for these sides now. Rampy will get one trader back on the nest, but they now know, look how open sight is. If you rotate down those stairs, it is all but over, but look at Ask. The case is going down, and Resets is there, but oh, Houghton, huge pick, but the case is down, and he's all alone against 3. Houghton has been left in these positions so many times before, but he will get Rampy recovered. Now back to a 2 versus 3. Houghton and Rampy. If you wanted the duo to get it done, it would be this pairing, but it's going to be a scrap and a brawl with Paulu. First to the plate. Red Pink's there. Live information, but Houghton doesn't last too much longer, and Rampy out in lobby. Surely won't have time. Surely he can't stick it. No, he can't. Ask shuts him down, and Liquid perform a miracle here, and they book their ticket to tomorrow and send SSG home.
From the ashes, they rose like a phoenix to get their way into the semi-final. And look, they are not even looking that happy. They are locked in with it. They know that they're pointing at this, saying this is our stage, and they are LATAM's hope for a win here at Gamers8. We say goodbye to one of NA's teams, SSG. They have gone home, and for NA, there's just one hope left.
TSM, the last team remaining to don that NA banner, and they will be going against Falcons later on the main stage. But Liquid, what a performance from them. Just to remember, a reverse sweep on Border. They managed to come back from 6-1 down. They get us to this, a quick 2-0 Twister. You know he's going to be happy as we break this down, but Liquid, wow, from the start of this event, 7-0 or 7-1, 7-1 against Wild, the very first game they played. Absolutely morale crushing. They clawed their way back against Damwon Kia in the lower bracket, and now they topple former world champions in SSG. Absolutely incredible.
That was a performance to remember, and there's just one more group stage game left to go. But whip it, that was an emotional roller coaster, and if there's one region out there that lives on their emotions and passion, it's Brazil.
Absolutely. Brazil is one of the most passionate regions that we have inside of Siege, and especially Liquid. They're one of those teams that really rely on being able to have the energy to get over those tricky positions. And I mean, Paulu, the IGL, is one of those, and Ask are so important to keeping that team's mentality in the right place. And they really did, because again, a reverse sweep. They were 6-1 down on Border, and they clawed it back bit by bit. They got themselves back into it. They took those small victories, those small springboard rounds, and they got the job done. I mean, I'm so impressed what we saw from Liquid.
That was brilliant. That reminds me of some of the games that Liquid played of old, and we spoke about the fans as well. We were in Charlotte. Their fans make a lot of noise, and I would say chat, I would say Twitter, I would say everything is looking at that game, and they are so happy.
They certainly are, but we have an interview ready on the stage, so we'll send you off to that.
An impressive run, almost 13 rounds in a row, almost. It was absolutely amazing. Paulu, I'm joined by you from Team Liquid. You played absolutely incredibly that whole round. It was kind of a rocky road up to this point. Obviously, yesterday you didn't get the result that you desired, but now look where you are. You've made it. So, is your confidence back?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, we were struggling a lot we were finding where to kind of find the kills, but we weren't playing together. So a lot of times we knew where we wanted to work, but we were playing like alone, sometimes finding like 1v1s, and a lot of times we were losing them. So we talked to each other after the pause. We knew what we had to fix. We fixed it and make it work, you know.
تيم ليكويد قدروا انهم يسوون كومباك كان جدا قوي في المباراه، وكنا نسالهم السؤال انه ايش اللي خلاكم ترجعون مره ثانيه للمباراه، وايش اللي خلاكم ترجعون الثقه حقتكم؟ فكان الجواب يتركز على انه في البدايه ما كنا نلعب مع بعض، والكل كان يحاول يدور ال1v1 سيتويشنز، يحاول انه يجيب الكلز لحاله، ما كان يلعب كفريق، والشيء هذا هو اللي كان ركزوا عليه. بعد البوز يقدرون يتناقشون عن الموضوع اكثر، يحسنون الموضوع، والان زي ما شفنا قدروا يسوون الكومباك وفعلا فازوا بالمباراه.
So you've got your semi-final match starting tomorrow. What are you going to be practicing between now and then? Obviously, don't give too much away, but what can you tell us?
Like, we still have a lot of issues that we need to fix, like, especially against White. They showed us a lot of gaps that we had. Like, they rushed the bomb, I think, like, almost 10 or 11 rounds, and we lost all of them. So we weren't prepared in some ways. We are going to fix it, so we show stronger in the next matches. That's mostly it. Like, I think we had a lot of some mistakes in our communication, but today was totally different, and we hope to keep going.
زي ما احنا عارفين فوز تيم ليكويد في المباراه هذه معناته يتوجهون الى السيمي فاينلز في المباريات غدا ان شاء الله، فكان السؤال انه ايش الاشياء اللي بتدربون عليها من الان الى مباراه غدا، والجواب كان متركز على انه الاشياء اللي كانت تواجهنا من ناحيه الكوميونيكيشن راح نصلحها، لكن زياده على كذا مواجهتنا بالامس ضد فريق وايلد بينت لنا عندنا اخطاء كثيره وعندنا مشاكل كثيره ممكن ما انتبهنا لها، وهذا اللي بنشتغل عليه، بنحاول نصلح المشاكل هذه قبل مباراه بكره ان شاء الله.
So before I let you go, I just wanted to ask you a quick question about your experience here so far. You know, what's it been like playing on this side of the world, on this stage? What's it been like?
It's been amazing. Like, yesterday we met some of the casters from the region, some players from the region, and we talked about it. Like, everything's perfect. Like, we haven't had anything like that we want to complain. You know, everything's so good. Like the food, the people, like so kind. Everything has been great, and it's amazing to be here.
سألنا اللاعب عن تواجده معنا في المملكة العربية السعودية في الرياض، ايش شعوره بتواجده معنا في المسرح ايضا في حدث عالمي، فكان يتكلم على مقابلته بالامس مع اللاعبين المحليين وايضا مع المعلقين والمحللين المحليين، وكان يتكلم على انه مرة مبسوط بكل شيء قاعد يصير، وبنفس الوقت الاكل اللي كانوا ياكلونه هنا كان جدا جميل، وزيادة على كذا الناس اللي كان يقابلهم كان جدا مبسوط معهم وما كان عندهم اي شيء ممكن يتشكون منه.
Paolo, thank you so much for joining us on stage for your post-match interview. You played incredibly well, and best of luck for the rest of the tournament for you guys. Everyone in the Gamers8 arena, put your hands together, make some noise for Team Liquid. Oh, it's getting louder and louder. That's what I like to hear. Congratulations once again. We're going to throw over to a very short break, and we are going to commence our last match of the day when we come back, and it is the last chance for that lower bracket final match, so don't go anywhere.
لا تبعدون اعزائنا المشاهدين والحضور، كلها دقائق بسيطه، بعد الفاصل راح نرجع لكم في المباراه الاخيره اليوم اللي راح تحدد مين اللي بيكون السيد الاخير معنا في البلاي اوفز غدا ان شاء الله، وصدقوني المباراه هذه ما تبغون تفوتونها، فكلها دقائق وراجعين لكم على طول.